Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy Podcast, episode 419 for the week of September 17th, 2019. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who's here with me this week? Wait, everything's plugged in. Yeah. Who's here?
Brock Sager.
You can go. That's fine.
Chris Bunch.
It's Chris.
Hey.
Welcome back.
And Kevin.
No,
Kevin
Chris.
Sharp, not Sharpay.
Sharpay, yes. I'm pretty sure it's just Sharp. Chris, once again, longtime customer, friend of the podcast, been on a number of episodes in the past. Thank you for joining us again. I know we took you away from your important mission to meet Trump at Moffitt, 2 miles from the store. Thank you for putting your that on hold and being with us here tonight. So,
for you, Ryan.
Okay, that's fantastic. Yeah. I wonder if he drove by. The store and do I have enough rotten fruit in the back to just huck. I mean, he had to go somewhere, right?
So
he was on 101 at some point.
There's so many elements of that story. Driving past the store on El Camino.
Yeah.
You having fruit in the back of the store.
Oh, I'm waiting, baby. Do you think he took side streets to just avoid traffic? To avoid any major place where people would just be booing him incessantly?
So the thing is when a president visits somewhere, it's like they have to map out where they're going. Now, whether or not people know that they're going to be here, which most people didn't know he was going to be here.
No, I didn't know until he landed. And I was like, wait, what happened?
So, because I remember I was driving on 280 and it was weird. There was nobody. I mean, nobody on the other side of the freeway. I was like, oh God, there must be some horrible accident or something. I have flashbacks of Air America in my head where it's just dead stop traffic and it's just this crazy scene. And then all of a sudden, the presidential motorcade drives by on the other side of the freeway. I was like, that's Obama. And I'm like, okay, because they block off.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a fair amount of just empty road before they came up. So
yeah, they're not going to let anywhere near them.
And they have to coordinate with local law enforcement, FBI, Secret Service. It's this huge ordeal. So I mean, they were, what's the shortest route, probably, with one minor detour to shake off the potential, AR-15 people that are going to hunt him down.
One detour to Comic Conspiracy.
It's the opposite way. The gun nuts are super pro-Trump, not anti. They're not going to hunt him down. They're going to hunt us down. What are you talking about? Anyway, let's talk about some comic books here. Way off topic here. I just meant to make a joke about Chris and his big
never make a joke.
Big love of Donald Trump. Yeah. On this podcast, just keep on trucking. Yep. Okay, here we go. Let's talk about some comic books. Oh, look at that! It's the August 2019 sales charts. We got our sales charts,
some
babies.
Intro music for this stuff.
Now, last month, was it last month? 2 months ago? Last month, when DC started to do their different pricing for the variant covers, their cardstock covers. Our good friends at Comichron, that's comichron.com, COMICHRON.com, they so helpfully have gone through and put the units together for both the main cover and the variant cover, which is the way it should be. So while I can give you both the official top 10 list, but we will be looking at the combined top 10 list because that is that's
the number that was
That's
sold.
the number, right? That's the top 10
whether
comics.
Whether or not the variant was more because it was a cardstock variant, who cares? It's the same issue. It's just a different cover.
Yeah, this is
the
top 10 comic books in the direct market in North America, released in August 2019. Estimated numbers.
Deceased is on there.
Deceased is on there. Fused, it's the number 4 book at 119,786 copies. 119,000 copies.
What?
Deceased is the number 4 book.
Oh, it sounded like you said fused.
I did say fused.
Fused. Fused numbers.
That's the fused list.
Okay.
He is Deceased is number 4 for issue number 4. Now we have I'll get to it after.
Okay, Batman.
Batman 76 barely makes the top 10 on that combined list of 84,879 copies.
Is Batman Who Laughs still going at this point?
No.
Okay.
Batman 77 is the number 11 book at 81,215. There is another Batman book on here, but it's not just Batman.
Batman Superman.
The number 3 book. And that's also normal and fused as number 3. 156,000 copies. Now, Batman Superman was fully returnable with orders that are, it's either match or a little over Heroes in Crisis #1. So look for that number to come down. I would not say. I mean, it'll come down pretty dramatically because Batman Superman had 4 covers. It had the matching Batman Superman covers, one of each, a variant plus the blank.
But none of them were over. Were any of them different priced?
Yes.
They were?
Oh, sorry. No, they weren't. No, they were all the same price.
Those
No,
were
they
all
were
the same price.
Yeah, yeah.
So those numbers should stay fairly consistent.
Yeah. But I think 156 is a very big launch for Batman Superman. #2 will not be that
Well,
number.
really, what we're trying to guess here is 2 through 10 because Marvel Comics 1000 sold 1 million. So that's #1. All right.
Oh,
so,
Marvel Comics 1000 is on this list.
yeah, I know.
The #2 spot, well, because Absolute Carnage #1 sold 8.7. Wait, what did X-Men sell? See, they said Marvel Comics 1000 was going to sell 1 million copies, right? And then they said Absolute Carnage was going to beat X-Men #1, the Jim Lee Marvel X-Men #1. That was their sales goal, which was 8 million something, right?
8.2.
Okay.
Let me just tell you, neither broke either of those sales goals. Okay. Marvel Comics 1000 was the #2 book at 206,000 copies, which roughly estimates to about 15 copies per variant cover sold. So, yeah, that's about right. And Absolute Carnage #1 is also on this list at the #1 spot at 233,000 copies.
House
Now-
of X.
Well, I should actually just clear the last of this list off because Absolute Carnage #2 was on this list at the #9 spot at 94,000
Well,
copies.
that's weird because I don't even remember seeing that book.
Yeah, we got our copies today. Chris at House, I'll give you the House and Powers combo. House #3 is the #4 book. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong list. House #3 is the #5 book at 109 copies. 109,000 copies, that is. Powers of X #2 is the #6 book at 107,000 copies. House of X 2 is the #7 book at 101,000 copies. And Power of X 3 is the #8 book at 100,000 copies. There's way too much stuff to say about those House and Power numbers. They are... I can't believe they're that low. And it is baffling to me to see Powers 3 drop and House rising from 2 to 3 is good. Powers 2 and Powers 3 FOC'd after 1.
Mm-hmm.
So that means people put their order in for 2 and then dropped their orders for 3. But they put their orders in blind, right? Whereas they put them in for 2 and raised them for 3. But the numbers it raised here is, we're only talking like 8,000 copies. These numbers are really fucking low. Mm-hmm. And it is no doubt in my mind that why so many stores have sold that. No, we have too, right? We blew through a ton of them. But if every other store is selling out, the stores that have a lot are going to start selling out. It's just going to happen. So, those are really
well.
Low.
Again, it was the problem going into House and Powers was people I think were super stoked for House, but didn't know what to expect from Powers. And then when it was, oh no, wait, it's this combined thing. It was past FOC at that point, and so people were still like, okay, well, we don't know yet because we had plenty of Powers #1.
We had them for a little while.
But then they finally got like.
Well, we ordered a shitload of #1s, right? So when I saw my numbers for my numbers 3 and 4 went up, and then 5 and 6 went up even higher as we got our reorders in for 3 and 4. So these could all, in theory, all the reorders could bump those up pretty significantly. But I don't think there's that many copies left.
No.
So. The unfused list, the raw list as it is, taking out those variant covers. 1 is Absolute Carnage, 2 is Marvel Comics 1000, 3 is Batman Superman. 4, 5, 6, and 7 is House Powers. 8 is Absolute Carnage, Batman is #9, and Batman Curse of the White Knight would have been #10 with its 2 covers if it wasn't for the merged list. The good thing is, again, if you're looking at that merged list, I think 8 of the top 10, actually, it's 7 of the top 10 normally, 8 of the top 10 with the merged list are over 100,000 copies sold, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Marvel Comics will go away. Absolute Carnage won't break 100,000. House and Powers will all stay at 100,000. Batman Superman won't be. So it's not going to look like this next month. House and Powers should be up there. What's coming out this month? Is there a big launch in September? Harleen? Is Harleen this
Harleen's
month?
out this month.
That could break 100,000 copies. That's going to be a big one.
Yeah, they also have isn't Harley Joker?
I think there's two or three Harleys.
Yeah, like a Harley Joker.
Well, some of that's October. I don't know if
you
there's
sure?
Somewhere in this period.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think September sales stretch. I think Harleen is this month. That should be real high. We'll see.
Did you read Absolute Carnage?
I did not. No. I'm catching up on Venom. I've been reading the previous.
I read the first one.
I grabbed a couple trades. So.
I don't think I was thinking about this as you were talking about it. I literally don't think I have ever read a comic book in which Carnage appears, unless he's in the background of some massive scene. But I don't think I've ever read a comic.
So it would have been late 90s, Amazing Spider-Man,
Right.
the Absolute Carnage crossover, right?
Yep.
Various, a couple Venom miniseries back in the 90s.
You're rolling snake eyes. Keep
Okay.
going.
Carnage USA.
Carnage fucking disappears for a solid decade, right? I'm sure he was in one or two things here
I played
or
a
there.
video game with Carnage in it.
The Absolute Carnage game?
And no, it's a Spider-Man, like with a bunch of villains.
I think it was the old Spider-Man game.
And there's Woody Harrelson,
Yeah.
and that's the extent of my Carnage knowledge. Those two things.
Yeah. Yeah, let's look at our numbers here. Marvel, the overall units 59.96, just shy of every one out of every two comics shipping in the month of August was from Marvel. DC was
Gotta love that double shipping.
DC was 20. Well, I mean, their shipping is all over the place. They don't do a lot of double shipping anymore. DC was 20.
No, sorry, over shipping.
That's a little bit, but none of those books are overshipped. They overship the bullshit that doesn't sell.
I know, but that bumps the unit numbers up.
Very, very much.
How many comics are they overshipping people?
I mean, not many. I mean, they'll do 50% to 100% overship, but it's on like shit that stores order like 5 copies of, so it's not big stuff. DC is 25.96%, Image at 6.26%. That's a fairly low amount. Of course, when you look at the overall dollars for the month, and remember, this does include reorders and sales and other stuff, so Marvel could have had some other stuff going on here. 46.15%. Marvel, so again, nearly one out of every $2 went to Marvel. DC at 24.86%, Image was 6.32%, IDW with 4%, so I mean, the rest of them are pretty standard. In the top 300, Marvel had 97 comics. DC had 65. So DC's their numbers are going up a little bit. They were in the 50s there for a little while. Image at 41, IDW at 29.
Yeah, but, Marvel has what? How many books coming out? 100.
In the top 300, Marvel at 53.52% of units in the top 300 sold. So over half the comics sold are Marvel. Fucking insane numbers for
But the
Marvel.
thing is how many books is Marvel putting out?
Like double everyone else, right? So
Yeah.
there was 97 in the top 300. So DC is 27%. So, I mean, that's Marvel's putting out a third more titles and selling twice as much as DC. Those are big numbers for Marvel. And if you go to the dollar share in the top 300, of course, this takes into consideration the higher price points of things like Absolute Carnage and House of Powers. Marvel at 57.4%. Nearly 6 out of $10 spent in the comic industry went to Marvel in the month of August. Holy Jesus. Good Lord.
Suckers.
That's a lot of books. Hey, man, we're selling a shitload of Marvel comics right now. We are selling a lot of books. Let's see. What's some? Yeah, because that's weird. Oh, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I forgot because they had the foil covers. I think were a different price. So they had some. I'm just trying to look at some of the cardstock numbers here and see what the split is. Something like Flash. It's a near even split between the main cover and the. Sorry. Those are the cardstock variants for Flash. I thought it was like a split between the main covers. Powers of X #1 sold another 10,000 units.
Regular or second print?
It just says #1. I don't think the second print would have been out. Well, maybe it would have been out by that point. I'm just trying to look. Runaways bringing up the bottom of the top 200, right above Dial H for Hero. 8,750 copies. Oh, Dial H, you're such a good book. You really should be selling more than that. That's super unfortunate.
I thought it'd be like a speculator's wet dream, that book.
all the first appearances of new characters. No question. If you like, lots of crazy references to other comics, and not in like a Family Guy way. I mean, if you want to see an artist draw like 20 other artists, you have to get Dial H. It's so good. Every book they turn into different characters, and it's not just a different superhero. It's not just a random superhero with the same style. He is emulating. I'm blanking on the artist's name. I don't have it in front of me.
Joe Quinones?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he is emulating their styles. So he did Peanuts, Frank Miller, Sin City.
Yep.
He did Rob Liefeld.
Yep.
He's done, and he nails them all. It's incredible. Yeah.
Oh, and the inker does a great job doing the different tones and textures,
all the coloring.
What number is it at now?
6, 7?
7.
Yeah.
But that's a 12 issue.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
Nice big $30 trade paperback when it comes out. So yeah, definitely worth the read. It's really good.
I was just saying, since we're past the halfway point, I'll just wait for the end to come.
Yeah.
If we were 3 issues in, I'd just go grab them.
Yeah.
But at this point,
Speaking of ends to come,
yes.
Things that are
speaking
12
of
issues.
speaking of sales charts,
Let me get my stuff up here. Hold on. So,
Legally binding contract.
quite a while ago, myself and my good friend Kevin Sharp sitting over here.
I'm glad you referenced sitting over here, just so they know I'm not beaming in from Mars.
no, he's on his lap.
we had a conversation about Doomsday Clock number 12, and when this
Call it a
book will
conversation?
finish.
This was a year ago, this conversation, because that's when Charlie laid down the worst case scenario. It's the last comic released of 2019.
Yep. So there was a question on Doomsday Clock 12 when it was going to finish. We had originally, I think September. I think now, right? Basically, would have shipped this month. Was our before the big delays for 10 and 11. I figured that was how it would have laid out based on the recent delays. Clearly, that did not happen. It kept getting pushed back. So we said, look.
God, that thread was amazing.
Look.
It's still alive.
No, this is a different thread.
Oh.
It's a new thread.
We'll get to it. Hold on, boys. Hold on. So,
Boys.
I said, look, does it ship in 2019? And me and Charlie were Team 19, all right? We believe. Team 19, # we believe. Okay. Kevin Sharp, however.
Kevin and Chris Arendt
Chris
from
Arendt,
Newsarama,
yep.
and some others who will not be named because they didn't go on the record.
Professionals.
Professionals are on Team 2020 with me.
Team 20 with Team 2020 with Kevin. So look, all I'm saying is it all came down to this last Friday when the DC solicitations came up. If Doomsday Clock 12 was in there, we had a chance, baby. Team 19's taking it. And lo and behold, we found out 2 things. One, Doomsday Clock 12 is scheduled to release December 18th, 2019. And the second part is DC is releasing no books the week of Christmas. They are treating because we get the books prior to that day, January 1st, which is a Wednesday, is actually the final week of book shipping in December. Because technically they do ship in December. They just release January 1st. So,
now, before you even try to weasel out of this, a comic book arriving on store shelves January 1st is a 2020 comic book.
It's 2020 comic book. Just suck it up.
There is a huge fucking technicality here. They have 12/18. Okay.
Yes.
DC is considering that January 1st ship date as December product. Okay. Now, I will have Doomsday Clock in 2019. All right?
Okay, so what?
So again, # we believe 12/18/19. This is the date, right?
12/18 is the date in the solicitation.
If it gets delayed, it's delayed to January 1st.
No, if it's delayed to the week of Christmas when they're like,
No.
oh, we're going to release one book.
They've already said, as far as I know, DC's already said there is no Christmas shipping book. Because here's what happens.
Whatever. Because it ships the same week.
Well, here's why. Christmas Day is a Wednesday, so that's on your release day. Some stores will have product out that day. We receive all our Christmas Day product on the 18th, the week prior. No books ship that week. right? Or we receive them on the 17th, right? On Tuesday, the day before. So we will receive comics on.
We're receiving comics on the 17th. That will be released on the 18th and the 26th.
And the 26th, and then I believe
because the official release date for this year is the 26th,
right,
not the 25th.
Okay.
Right.
So stores that open on Christmas are not supposed to
They're
sell
not
this
supposed
product.
to sell those books. And then I believe on Friday the 27th, we are receiving our product for Wednesday, January 1st.
Okay. Before we get to the terms of the bet, just to get it on the record, let me float this as an idea, because you will have Doomsday Clock in your hand in 2019, and the public will not have it until 2020.
Maybe.
I'm saying if that one scenario plays out,
Yeah.
I say we call that a push.
Okay.
Is that
I
fair?
agree. Sure.
That's a push.
I'm still.
So that would be a 1 week delay that
Yes.
leads to a push.
Yes.
So it comes out the 18th.
Yep.
If it's delayed 1 week, we call it a wash.
Yep.
And past that, is Team 20.
You're out. Or I'm out. You're out. So
okay.
Now, what is the terms of what is lost and what is gained here?
So here was the original. I'm going to tell you the original bet, and then I'm going to tell you what the addendum that I proposed on Twitter.
See, once I saw the solicitations, I'm like, all right, baby, let's go all in. Let's up the ante. Let's do it.
Well, the original bet back in 2018 was the loser picks up the winner's order of choice from Starbucks. That would be food, beverage, whatever. Mm-hmm. That's the original, so we can stick with that. And then the addendum that I added on was... See how he's tuned out?
Yeah.
Ryan's on his phone now. The addendum that I've added on
that's the other guys.
is... we add that the loser poses for the social media photo of shame, and I have a prop to be included in that photo. I'm not going to say what it is to keep some element of suspense in this.
Is it a Trump photo? That signed Trump photo?
You're already in that. This is related to the bet. It is not. It's not you with your arm around a Trump mannequin.
All right. So the terms of the bet is if it comes out on the 18th. That means you have to pose.
I come here with Ryan's Starbucks order, and I pose for the photo of shame.
Okay. If it comes out in the push week, neither one of you.
We just enjoy the comic.
You just
and
enjoy the comic.
Move with your lives.
But we tell people what was going to be taken with the photo.
It won't be as funny that way, but sure.
All right, fine. Then never mind.
What if for the 18th you just both lost, and that is still considered a push? And you both had to take the picture with the unnamed.
No, because then we have the 18th, the push time, and then the
You're gonna let them off.
Yeah, I'll let them off. That's the 8th.
Yeah, no, 18th is all me,
that's
baby.
fine.
That's all me, baby.
Yeah, I will be here with your delivery, and I will happily pose.
Just so you know, you're going to have a gingerbread loaf on that thing.
Yeah, I've picked up his Starbucks order.
Look, I'm not Bryce, okay?
I know what I'm in for.
Christmas time, this guy, dude.
Okay, so
loaf,
we're clear. 18th is you.
I'm not Bryce.
1 week delay is push. January. It would be January 8th.
Now, quick question: What if it's randomly they overnight everybody Doomsday Clock for 26th?
That's
shipment.
still 2019.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't believe
We're trying to make.
I don't believe there's any chance of DC having anything come out on the 26th. They've said that
Just
there is
because
no
they've
product.
said it doesn't mean
So-
it's not going to change.
but-
So we're on the
That's it.
record. If it's
There
said
we
on a
go.
podcast, it's a legally binding contract.
True.
Again,
that true in the state of
That's
California?
podcast law. Yeah.
I believe that it's going to come out on the 18th. So
And just so that when this Twitter thread gets revived or reactivates, I just want to be clear. I want to read it. I want it to come out. I want it to have been finished 6 months ago. It's not like I'm rooting for it to never come out. I'm excited to read it.
you just don't think it's going to come out.
Right. Like what faith have they shown that would make you bet against me?
I don't know.
I think they're like, look, we have to get it out this year. We'll delay it like crazy in the
Now,
towards the end.
I did bring up something to Ryan about this. What happens if it's turned into a 13-issue miniseries?
Oh.
If 12's not enough and they have to push
Do
to
you think they're going to announce that now? Like,
They,
What
I'm
if
just-
there's a Doomsday Clock one shot
yeah,
out
exactly.
in July?
Like if
Well, you know
Doomsday
what?
Clock doesn't actually finish,
we
and
could
there's
sit,
something
we
extra.
could sit here all night and pull out the what if this, what if that.
I'm just
and
saying.
carve this into a million pieces. Let's say we'll cross that bridge if it happens.
Okay.
Issue number 12.
Issue number 13.
This is based on 12 as it stands now.
12, 18, 19.
Okay.
This is it.
All right.
All right.
Glad we got that.
Chris, I want to know. Do you believe? Hashtag we believe. Come on.
It's
12, 18.
He's not good with
12, 18.
hashtag.
Ah, yes. I got another one.
Isn't it 1219?
Got another one.
12,
Got another
18,
one.
19.
All right. There we go.
I thought it was 2019. We were doing hashtag Team 2019.
Yeah, 12, 18, baby. Team 19. 2019. It's a lot of hashtags, okay? That's all I'm saying.
I'm honestly at this point just fucking push it. Like I don't fucking care.
We got the DC solicits this week, so there's actually a lot of DC news. This is
Some good stuff too.
Not the first time this decade this has happened, but based on some of the current arc stuff from Lois and the current Superman comics by Bendis, it appears that Superman will be giving up his secret identity, possibly into next year, end of this year into next year. So he did this. We had this briefly during the New 52 run, and that very quickly kind of just went away
Yeah.
during the Jeff Johns, Romita Jr. stuff. So
It's kind of like that Wolverine burning claws. Did we ever? Was that ever rectified? Like,
I think they just
was there a story I can read that explains this, or did they just go? Yeah, it was some weird artist thing.
Oh, they scrapped every single anything that's happened to the X-Men was just for House of Powers. Just
Moira
punted.
didn't even address it.
No. Fuck it. They'll never talk about any of that again. Yeah, so I'm curious to see where Bendis has gone. I actually really like that page where Lois has come back from space and Superman picks him up and they kiss and she's like, people were watching, and that's sort of been this plot through his run, and I actually like that. I want to see where they go with this.
I like what it does because it takes Lois into like Lois isn't just this hotshot reporter. She's now looked at with like a scarlet letter across her because she's cheating on her husband.
Yeah.
Right. And it's this whole, she's to the public eye, she's cheating on her husband with Superman. So it's kind of, she manipulates Superman when they're together in a good way, I think, like a playful way, like these two have been in a relationship so long, it's kind of just natural.
I hope that the reason for this plot twist upcoming is not just, well, Lois, we got to stamp down these bad stories about you and show them that you're not an adulteress.
Yeah.
I hope that that's not the reason he's doing it in the story. I hope it's something more significant than that.
Yeah. Might be.
And it's just, this happens to fix that problem, but it's not something that we were intentionally trying to fix. That's just a bonus that that was
my
fixed.
hope.
But this is the real reason why, and it's effed up.
I think is that coming out the 18th? Let me see.
Man, 18th.
December 18th?
Yeah.
This
No,
is what the slits are for.
no, it's the 11th, December 11th. Dude, I'm not telling you, December 18th is fucking stacked. There's a ton of stuff coming out from DC that week. Lots of stuff.
Yeah, it's like 2 weeks in one because they're not shipping anything the next week except for Doomsday Clock that gets delayed.
Again, January 1st is the 4th week, and that means there's no 5th week in January. So, but yeah, Superman number 18 and Lois Lane number 7. If you're interested in that story, you may want to check those out. I think those are going to be pretty big
Are
deals.
those the red books? Are we calling them red books now? Red arrows?
Yeah.
Also, another big one-shot. I'm really curious to get Rob Liefeld's opinion on this stuff. Frank Miller is back for a Dark Knight Returns one-shot, The Golden Child. Look, Frank Miller, whatever. Dude, this is an entire book drawn by Raphael Grandpa, who is fucking incredible.
Did you look at those preview pages?
Oh, my God. Yeah. Look, so if you hate Frank quietly, like, don't even bother, right? I mean, Grandpa is like, it's like he's like his brother, right, at this point, right? But God, I love him. He's such an incredible artist.
Have you gotten an original penis page from him?
No, I do not. Maybe I'll look for one on this page, in this book. So yeah, Grandpa has an amazing style. So whatever. It's more Dark Knight. It's cool. It's Batman. It's going to sell a boatload. He is actually writing it. There's no co-writer attached to this, and I don't believe Grandpa's writing it. So this is all Frank. There's no Azzarello buffer with this one.
You mean it's not Azzarello Miller?
Yeah, no.
Did you guys read Superman Year One at all?
No, I
Did you?
I read the first one.
I heard number 1 was okay. I heard number 2 was not good.
Number 1 was like mostly okay, and there's like these little parts where it's like, it was a while ago, but my recollection was like, was he mind controlling other people? Does he have like mental powers?
Yeah,
Is it like,
yeah. I heard number 1 was okay, but
Number 2, he's supposed to marry
I just can't do it.
and somebody down in the ocean.
Yeah, so
flipped through it.
Carrie Kelly, this is all going to be Carrie Kelly's first appearance as Batwoman. So she's taken on the
Speculators buy.
Oh, you know it. And it's called Golden Child, and of course, Golden Child is a young.
Isn't that an Eddie Murphy movie?
Golden Child, yes, yeah. A young Jonathan Kent. So we're getting John Kent into the Dark Knight universe. So this is gonna be some variant covers by Paul Pope, Jolie Jones, and Andy Kubert, as well as Frank
Joelle
Miller.
Jones?
Yeah.
Oof,
and
I might
Andy
have to get that
Kubert,
one.
as well as Frank Miller. So, oh boy,
Yeah, don't care about the Frank
Hachimama.
Miller
That's gonna be a big.
I'll pick up the Joelle
Paul
Jones.
Pope, dude.
Why'd you buy this book? All art.
Paul Pope and Raphael Grandpa on the same book is just like that's just like a buy 10 times over. Paul Pope's so good. So yeah, that's big Frank Miller, Dark Knight. Everyone loves Dark Knight. The one shot during Dark Knight 3,
The last
Crusade?
Last
Crusade sold. I mean, it sold incredibly well, but not quite on the same level as the main one. But it did do well, so I'm very curious to see how this one does. I think it'll do very well. Before we move on to some movie stuff, there was one. This is kind of half comic, half movie stuff. A comic book that is not out yet. Scott Snyder, Charles Soule, and Giuseppe Camicoli. I can never pronounce.
Yeah, I've already put my order on the hub. Ongoing.
Undiscovered Country, their first book that's coming out soon
From Image.
From Image Comics, has already been optioned as a film. New Republic Pictures picked up the right for the series into a franchise. Movie, TV. I don't know what they're going to do.
They picked up the rights to do it either in movies or television.
Yes. So, speculators, if you're looking, before the book's even on FOC, before I even put initial orders in, it's already been optioned. So, yes, we'll be getting a lot of these books. Yeah, I'm really excited for that book. We got to read the preview copy from Comic-Con, and it's a neat concept, and it could be pretty crazy. They're doing, the whole idea is that the I think we talked about this, right? The U.S. has
You
been,
guys just shut themselves out from the rest of the world for 30 years.
It did seem like reading that number 1
yeah.
from Comic-Con. It seems more of a series. I don't mean a comic series. Like if you're going to adapt it, it seems more like a series
TV
than
show.
a feature film.
Yeah. Well, it's not. I mean, again, this isn't a Mark Miller 5-issue miniseries to be made. This is like an ongoing comic book by these people. I'm sure they know the end, but I don't think there's any like end planned. I mean, I'm not going to say it's like Walking Dead. It's probably won't run that long, but it definitely is something they're going to explore for quite some time. So this is not some cheap cash in. This was legitimately a comic they were pitching. And
Charles Soule and Scott Snyder have always had a good working relationship.
They've done something.
When they worked on Swamp Thing together, they've had a good working relationship, and they're, if you follow them on social media, they're really good friends. So it's like this is definitely something that they're, that they want to do together for a while.
Yep. Now, Toby just wandered in, perfect timing, because if there's anyone here that knows actors and anything about who they should be, maybe we should. This is a good time to talk about the big, probably the big comic movie news from this week, and this is the official Suicide Squad cast list. What the heck? Did you not see James Gunn's Suicide Squad cast list? What are you airing me? What's the big news? What happened? What do you want to talk about?
I was wondering what what?
Birds of Prey.
Oh, Birds of Prey.
Oh, the Birds of Prey poster is awesome. We could talk about that.
I want to talk about Toby's lack of hair. The last time I saw him, he had a full thing of hair going on.
He shaves his head pretty regularly. Yeah.
I'm glad everyone can see this.
Yeah.
And we could talk about the poster. Describe it, Ryan.
The Birds of Prey poster. Yeah, it's very colorful. What do you want to say about the poster?
It's like the Harley Quinn cover.
Yeah.
Doc should like it.
Yeah.
No, I saw it. I like
The
it.
comic cover.
Jimmy Palmiotti tweeted out the two images next to each other.
Yeah.
It was the Amanda Connor. I can't remember what issue it was though.
Yeah. It's
37.
It was 37.
No, I have no idea.
So James Gunn posts the official cast list for Suicide Squad. Of course, with the tagline, what do you say? Like
Nobody's safe.
No,
Truth,
yeah.
truth be told, I actually don't know half of them on that list.
Yeah.
I just saw Margaret Robbie and was like, all right, I'm good.
Well, I'll tell you who some of them are.
Well,
right?
I know the bottom line.
Right.
And as we go higher,
Viola Davis is back as
Okay.
Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
Right?
Awesome. Perfect.
Joel Kinnaman is back as Rick Flag.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Right. Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn, and
That's
Jai
perfect.
Courtney, Captain Boomerang. All right. Now these
Yeah.
guys have already been.
Okay.
This is just. I assume that's who they're playing.
I actually think Joel is going to be in there for 2 minutes.
And then get killed off.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think
so-
it's a G.I. Joe happening right here. Remember Channing Tatum in G.I. Joe 2?
Yes. I mean, no, but yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
All
they
right.
killed him immediately.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So,
God, this is like Transformers the animated movie.
a lot of people online, I know we talked about this on Geekbox last night. Ryan Scott has some good picks. There's a couple of good theories online. There's a ton of characters. So it could be just that they're just going to kill off a bunch of random bad guys, right? Or just random characters. There's also some of the early plots of the Suicide Squad. I don't have the names in front of me here. I should have written it down. There's like the squad. There's like the B team squad that like all get killed off, and then there's the bad guy. They're going up against Rustum and the bad Kevin. Help me. What's the name of the team? I'm blanking. The bad guy squad that they go up against.
That's not Ryan Scott.
I said
That's
Kevin.
You're just asking a suicide
Early
question.
squad.
You're asking a suicide sauce question, so I'm like, it's not Ryan Scott.
They brought it up in.
Are you talking about the movies?
No.
No,
In
the
the comic
comics, the
books, there
comics.
was they brought it up in
He's
the
stupid,
last
but not that
installment.
stupid. He does do comic related questions to you. Yeah.
I just totally blank on the name
I'll
of
look
the
it
team
up.
right
I'll
now.
look it up.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a terrorist organization that's squad to go up against. I'm just terrible at remembering what the name of the thing is called. Anyway, a lot of people are assuming that this makes sense, right? You have a big cast of some famous people that get killed off pretty quickly. You have the evil squad and then the main squad, right? So you kind of have all three teams going up against each other, and a little bit like in Deadpool 2 when you had the X-Force, and they just get fucking slaughtered immediately, right? So I think a few of these I think are dead perfect, and I'm totally down with. Okay,
Are they dead perfect? Meaning, do you think the actor fits the role, or dead
Yes.
perfect? You mean this is what you believe is the casting?
No. We don't know the casting for
Yeah.
anyone except for the main four,
Right.
right? We had a conversation last night on the podcast on Geekbox. I've seen a few of these thrown around online, and I think some of these roles fit perfectly, right? So Idris Elba, Bronze Tiger.
Yeah, he'd be fantastic. In that
I don't know. Like again, in Squad, I don't know who else he would be. Right? That seems such a perfect fit.
That's assuming these are all comics-based characters, not
Well,
new characters.
All the text, the logo is like the logo from the original comic
Yeah.
run. Right? To me, that just screams
Okay.
that they're pulling directly out of the comics. Yeah, of course, it could be bullshit and all made up characters, right? But I don't think so.
Okay, Bronze Tiger.
I know there's been a few characters that were rumored, like Polka Dot Man and a
Yeah.
couple other characters, but I'm going to ignore some of those because I just don't know. Nathan Fillion. I like Nathan Fillion, and I mentioned this a little while ago when I heard he was
I
going
know
to be
that
in it.
dude. All the nerds know him.
Yeah.
I recognize his name.
I want him to be Nemesis. Now, Nemesis is kind of a...
video game?
no, Nemesis is
Okay.
a kind of a master of disguise. And I mean, these are all squad members, right?
He was in
This
Heroes
fits-
in Crisis, but
Right.
didn't really do
But they
anything.
didn't do anything with them. I like that a lot. Now this is one of Ryan Scott's picks. I'll totally mispronounce her name. Tanashi Kajisi. I don't know her personally, but looking Vixen.
You don't know her personally.
I don't know her.
You know any of them personally?
I don't know her.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
If you
her
knew
much,
any of them
but-
personally, I'd be impressed.
Well, you know.
Well, Toby, Nathan Fillion was in the elevator with us at San Diego last year.
Was I alive? I mean, awake? Or not drunk?
You were standing upright.
That doesn't mean anything.
Wait,
at the
I was
Omni,
there?
At the Omni last year.
I was there? In the elevator?
I believe so.
Oh, how did I miss that one?
Okay.
Wow.
So,
Okay. Excellent.
again, she'd be perfect for Vixen. Another character, long membership of the Justice League and the Suicide Squad. She's a hero, but you know they had Katana in the first one, right? So totally makes sense. Like some of them, I just
Aggie.
I just don't know. John Cena, again, I heard this early, and I love this.
Oh, dude, he is John Cena.
Dude, he has to be Peacemaker.
No.
Again,
That would be fantastic.
he looks fucking dead on to Peacemaker.
John Cena's John Cena. He comes with the music and everything.
It's just so he just got that look, right? He's just a fucking brick wall.
Am I missing? I don't remember the Peacemaker being connected to the Suicide Squad.
I think he was in.
Is this in that
I don't
John Ostrander, the original
I
series?
think so.
That's the guy with the
I
the
tell you,
dome head?
I tell you
with
something.
the guns.
Yeah. It was the shoot. What was the
Yeah,
stupid
he was
crossover?
in the Justice League one, right? Wasn't he in the
No, it
Justice
was the
League?
Checkmate crossover. He was in that Checkmate crossover with them.
I'll tell you something about John Cena, though. I remember going to movie theaters with my nephews and watching this movie, and it was freaking boring out of my mind. I think it had Marky Mark in there, too.
Sorry. Brock, you mean the Janus Directive. Is that the
Yes.
one? Yes. Okay. Yep.
Yes.
Can I continue?
Yes, you can.
All right. So I went to watch this movie. It was about, I think, fatherhood or something. And I remember being butt bored out of this movie. And John Cena...
Butt board?
Yeah, butt bored. John
Okay.
Cena shows up at the very end at the movie, and these kids could not stop talking about the movie on the ride home. It was like that 5 minutes at the end made the entire movie for them. I'd never seen anything like it. It was like he showed up, and they went... Buck wild. They were like starting to sing the theme song and everything, and all the way home, they were like, yeah, John Cena's in the movie. It's the greatest movie ever. I'm like, the movie sucked. But to them, it was the greatest movie all of a sudden.
How weird.
So I think this is going to be a hit with like 5-year-olds and 8-year-olds. So
Well, it's rated R,
And 40-year-olds. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And the last one, now having
What do
seen...
you mean last one?
having-
There's
no,
like 18 more
No,
in
but
this
I'm
list.
talking about people that I have ideas of who I
I mean,
think they're
Steve
playing.
Aggie's Calculator Man. I'm just looking at pictures right now.
Flula Borg. Again, I don't know this guy from anything like that, but with a name
He's
like
not that dude on the late night shows, is he?
And
the
you look-
German dude?
you look at him and you're like, oh, dude, he's Count Vertigo. Like, it's just, again, not even a
Wait.
question. The dude's Count Vertigo. Yes, he's a German dude.
He's that German, the crazy German dude.
Yeah, I think so.
That goes drinking with Conan.
Maybe that sounds right.
He's amazing.
He's gonna be Count Vertigo. I'm telling you. But
I don't see that at all, but
Again-
he's amazing.
again, people had said this before.
That's not him, is it?
Like, I don't know. Look him up. They saw pictures of him. They heard he was going to be in Squad, and people immediately jumped to this conclusion. And I also think they're 100% correct. And that's Taika Waititi, who directed Thor Ragnarok and
What We Do in the Shadows.
and What We Do in the Shadows.
He's going to be Hitler.
He's going to be Rustum, right? Who is the main bad guy of that terrorist organization. So I don't think he's going to be a throwaway character. I really do think he's going to be the major villain of the movie, which is a crazy role for him to play. But I really like that. Now, Sean Gunn's going to be in it. His brother, Michael Rooker. Peter Davidson is going to be in it. As a couple other people.
Who do you think
I don't
the
really
doctor
know.
is?
Right, so Peter Capaldi's in there. Ryan Scott thinks he's going to be either the Thinker or Clock,
is the German
or Clock
dude.
King. He shaved his head.
Flula Borg, yeah.
He's
That's him.
nuts. He's awesome.
Good clocking.
Peter Capaldi?
Yeah.
Well, I think he's the writer. He's Scottish. He's got a shaved head. The writer is Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
Grant Morrison is in the Suicide Squad. Literally Grant Morrison, right?
He's writing the movie.
I don't think he's involved in the movie. He should. No, his Flash he's supposed to be working on. Now, the joke makes no sense if you don't know the writer. But if they just want him in to kill a character really quickly, you throw him in, he does his two things, and he's done. He looks fucking like Grant Morrison Who are you showing me? Nightshade?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nightshade. Ryan Scott had, and I don't really know her, Jennifer Holland as Nightshade.
Oh, that's
So-
James Gunn's wife.
Oh, there you go.
I don't ever remember the Black Orchid being in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, a lot of these characters were in there for like one mission.
I mean, let's be honest. Harley was never really a Suicide Squad member until like 5 years ago.
Modern,
right?
right?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to look at because the older version had many more members.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, the characters Ryan Scott listed, besides the one we've said, Nemesis, Vixen, blah 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 blah. Cal Vertigo, Thinker, King Shark. Again, he's been in it. Duchess, Peacemaker, Ratcatcher, Polka Dot
Michael
Man,
Rooker is doing a voice.
Mindboggler, Rustum, Ravum, Jakuli, and those are all the terrorist guys. Sarge Steel, Michael Rooker is Sarge Steel. That's Ryan Scott's prediction.
I would guess him as King Shark.
I can see that. Yeah. So good. I like a lot of these casting ideas. I like a lot of these.
I want to know who
characters.
Storm Reed is.
It could be none of them. Who's it?
There's a little girl. Why is she in the Suicide Squad? What does she do?
Wait,
Oh, is that new 50 Sue?
No.
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster. Oh, I like Blockbuster too. I like.
Wait,
Blockbuster.
did you already talk about Pete Davidson?
I said his name, but again, I don't know who he is.
Isn't he the Saturday Night guy? Saturday Night Live guy.
Yes.
He is?
Yes.
So you know who he is.
I know who he is, but I don't like.
It's too
I
bad
don't
the
know a lot of the
Enchantress
stuff he's
was
done
ruined in the first movie.
Yeah, well, Nightshade is sort of the replacement, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in
I'm
theory,
just saying it's still too bad.
in theory, Nightshade is the actual real one. Enchantress is. I mean, she's in it, but I think it's more. I think more Nightshade than Enchantress when I think of Suicide Squad. She's, I think, more of the comics. So there's a ton of good people in this movie. A lot of potential for awesome characters to just get fucking slaughtered.
So the evil group,
Punch
I
and
wonder if
Julie?
they'll be called the Jihad.
No, they're called something else. They're called like the
I can't find it. It's
Yeah, they're
the problem is you go Suicide Squad bad guys, and it's like everyone on the Suicide Squad is a bad guy.
Yeah,
Or was
yeah.
Suicide Squad villains. Everyone on
Yeah,
the Suicide Squad is a
they're
villain.
called something different now. I don't think they're going to call them the Jihad. No, pretty sure.
That's at this. This lineup, this picture I'm looking at, I know it's good radio,
the
but
Michael
I'll just say
Fife.
that it has also had Shade the Changing Man,
Yep.
Punch
he was
and
in it.
Julie,
Yep, Punch and Julie are in a few.
Manhunter,
Yep.
the one with the silver mask.
Yeah.
Vixen we said already. Duchess.
Yeah, Ryan had someone on for Duchess.
Are there going to be pies in this one?
Oh God, there fucking better be. Now, look, you all know. Hey, I hate bad jokes. The pies in Suicide Squad is a fantastic joke. Please let the pie.
But you hate
Pies in the
comedy.
face.
You
I
hate comedy.
I hate bad comedy.
You just hate comedy.
Pie is great comedy. Okay, getting hit in the head getting hit in the faces with pies randomly through the movie.
Okay.
I would be.
Mark this date.
That is my. If there is a
Getting
pie
hit in the head with a pie randomly through a movie is good comedy.
Note
this.
in a Suicide Squad,
There's going to be like the whole fear going, that was fucking stupid. And Ryan is like laughing.
in a
this is great.
Suicide Squad movie getting hit with.
I've had that experience.
I'm gonna take the Kevin Sharp promise here. If someone gets hit in the face with a pie, I will stand up and slow clap
In the middle of the movie?
standing ovation in the middle of the movie.
Okay.
Not to be fair, though.
Kevin Sharp did
Him
this.
standing up
but-
in the middle of the
Shazam.
movie is different than normal people because normal people, everybody around you will see him. When Ryan gets up, nobody is going to see him. They're just going to hear a clap and wonder where it's coming from.
They'll be in the background.
Eventually, they'll look back and oh, there's a crazy guy in the back.
Because if you don't remember, Kevin Sharp said that if Mr. Mind in full Mr. Mindness
Worminess.
showed up in Shazam,
Didn't he?
Yeah.
yeah,
But the advantage was
But
he
you
was in
didn't
the
do it.
closing. I did do it.
He did do it.
Yeah, he was in the closing credits though. He just said if it happens in the middle of the movie, he'll stand up and
Every
start slow
now, quick
clapping.
question. Every time?
yes, every time. If Captain Boomerang is just standing there and he gets hit with the head hit in the face with a pie, I'm just gonna
Wait, hold on.
So-
this means you have to do a movie outing again because none of this bullshit where Ryan watches a movie on his own with
With just
Leanne and then
Leanne,
tells
yeah.
us about it later
Tells us-
doesn't
yeah.
count, man.
Oh, it's a DC movie, so I'm gonna buy tickets for
Yeah, it's
everyone.
the whole not just
So
the
when are Joker
screening,
tickets going
the
on
whole movie theater.
Fucking Joker tickets aren't on sale yet.
Oh
Penn
my
and
God,
Teller.
how is that-
Penn and Teller used to have this thing where they would say you go to a movie with a group of friends, you sit in the front row, And if the title of the movie is said in the movie, you all just start clapping as if it's like a standing ovation at the end of something. Every time.
That's awesome.
So, like, they said it, like, if you go see something like Batman, you're going to be the most hated group in the theater. But if you go see The Unbearable Lightness of Being, the joke's not so
Never
funny.
Never going to happen. Yeah. That's great. All right, we got a ton of questions to read here. Chris, feel free to jump in on any of these.
I have a question.
Oh,
we do
let's hear
not
it.
talk on this podcast about House of X and Powers of 10.
I got a question in here about it.
It's DC bias.
I got a question about it. No, we talked about the first couple.
Just so everyone knows, Chris is now in a Marvel store.
Oh.
And so they've converted him a
This is
little.
Marvel store?
No.
Since when?
No, Chris now shops.
to LA.
He moved to LA, so he's now at a Marvel store.
There's
Which one?
Comic Bug, Culver City.
The first couple episodes, we had a lot to say because we're like, what the hell is going on? We're now just like simmering in the. There's nothing to say because we don't know where it's
They
going.
did a great shot. They did a great homage scene to this person dying.
Wait. I didn't read the last week's issue.
Yeah,
Is
no,
that
we
Powers?
won't say anything. We're not going to say anything. But there
That's
is
Powers 4.
there
I
is
did
a
not read that one yet.
there is a question, which I'm going to avoid some spoilers, but we'll get to that in a second. We'll talk. Do you have something to say about House of Powers?
I think, of course, we don't know what's coming up, but we need to have one issue with like Apocalypse in it because he's kind of one of the main like figures who we haven't seen.
You
like,
definitely don't look at the covers of the upcoming comics, right?
I don't read previews.
Oh,
and I don't look at any
okay.
of the covers. I just show up on
I like
Wednesday.
it. This
and I'm
was-
like, here's the money.
This is like the no trailer rule.
We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
Going in totally blind.
I like it. There's no trailer rule for comics.
I already explained to him it doesn't matter because you forget the images anyway.
You do?
Yeah, I flip through previews every single month. I don't read anything. I just look at the images.
Oh,
And I'm like, all right, cool.
that's you.
So we need to see something about Apocalypse and something about this future storyline that they kind of are setting up and the phalanx and they're running through it.
Oh yeah.
So that has to get wrapped up at some point.
At least one of those definitely
And
happens.
that Timeline 6.
And Timeline 6.
Josh Epstein asks, I just finished reading Exit Stage Left, The Snagglepuss Chronicles by Mark Russell. Having read Flintstones, I actually didn't read.
This
name
is
of
not
it.
the X-Men question?
now I want to read
No.
No, I know what
No,
Exit Stage
no.
left. Yeah.
No. They were both amazing. Snagglepuss more so. I haven't read Snagglepuss.
You haven't read
I need to. No, I
Snagglepuss?
need to.
Oh, that's good.
What classic character would you like to see him tackle next? He did Flintstones and Snagglepuss.
Okay, so Flintstones was
Amazing.
amazing. Snagglepuss was really good. Old character I'd like to see him tackle, though.
Like cartoon character.
So can we pick one that was in those team-ups? Or does it have to be somebody who's never been in comics?
Anything. It could be
Dude, that
anything.
Porky that Porky Pig Lex Luthor one
yeah,
he
that
did
was-
was pretty
Yeah.
pretty rough. Yeah, what's a good classic? I feel like he could do. I want to see him like just on a straight Looney Tunes book, like the whole cast, but just like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit style with the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Just him dealing with this the world that they exist in because it's such a nightmare. I think that could be really cool. Or fuck, just a straight Roger Rabbit comic. I want to see Mark Russell do a Roger Rabbit comic. That could be goddamn amazing. Is Roger Rabbit fully owned by Disney now?
Yeah. I think so. I'm trying to think. Old cartoons. You know, he could probably do morality or the moral of the story better than He-Man ever did. God. What?
Talking shit about He-Man.
The cartoons?
It was awesome.
They don't hold up.
Yes, they do. Just watch one at a time. They totally hold up. Just don't watch more than one at a time. It's totally fine.
For the viewers at home, Toby is on his knees.
He made a mess.
Grabbing
Excuse me, that sounds wrong if you stop it right there.
Toby's on his knees.
cleaning up a mess he made on the floor.
It still sounds bad.
That was
Kevin.
Disney owns the film rights to Roger Rabbit. I wonder if someone else could do something with
I'm going to pick Blue Falcon and Dynamite.
the Super
love
Sons
that.
crossover.
I
that was
love
really
that.
good. Yeah,
But
that was
I
good.
just, you asked an ongoing, I'd take it.
Yeah. Andrew Nelson Mendez asks, hey, friends, I just finished... he says, hey, all. My friend...
Hey, all.
finished producing physical copies of the first volume of his comic book and is trying to get it onto store shelves but doesn't have a distributor. So I was wondering, how do you suggest a local independent comic book creator try and discuss consignment options with the local comic shops? Is that even a thing anymore? So we get this question occasionally, and we get people coming in from time to time. Plenty of stores do consignment, plenty don't. I now have only one time ever.
I thought you were going to say, I only have one consignment person. It's my wife.
Well, okay. If you count Leanne as consignment, 2.
Come on.
But
Come on.
I've had one person ever that has consigned stuff here actually come back to check on stock and pick up, money when we've sold it.
My wife?
Well, okay. That's different. That's the art stuff. I'll leave separate.
Comic books, not print.
Okay, yeah, the
we're
comic
separating
stuff, the
just comics.
Yeah, let's say the comics. And yeah, it's so weird that this happens all the time. Well, not again all the time because I just don't usually take them. But people will be like, "Yeah, I want to consign this comic book," and they drop it off, and gone, vanished.
And I
Never
pause
see them
you
again.
for a second.
Yeah. So,
Did that one person come back going, "Oh, I see, I sold 3 issues," and you're like, "I know nothing about it."
no, it's Chris. It's Chris.
Oh,
Yeah, and Chris, L.A.
but
Yeah.
that was recent.
Yeah, and he came back.
Well,
he hit the second volumes out.
Identity Stunt has a publisher, right?
Did you
He
admit
just-
to selling some of his books though?
Yes, and Joe just gave me that stuff. So I bought the graphic novels off of him.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, he took back some of them because we had too many copies of his book. But almost no one that consigns stuff ever comes back. So yes, you can go to your shop and try to consign it. But you've got to really, push yourself on it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
But there's a lot of small.
You have to have like a good presentation. You have to have the product with you.
Yeah.
You have to have these are the reasonable terms for both.
Talking about good presentation. Sorry, Brock. Were you here for the one that came in and pitched his cat book?
Jesus.
Were you here for that?
I wasn't here for that.
That was fucking gold. It was comedy, dude. This guy came in. I got a book to sell you.
This is the wildest thing.
Yeah, he was like, "You can even have your cat in my cover."
What?
And he wouldn't leave, right?
Yeah. He got mad that I wouldn't take his book.
Yeah.
I think Ryan was really nicely going, "I'm sorry, I don't think."
I don't have a cat.
Well, that and he goes, I don't think we're the right store for this. And the guy goes like, "What? You don't like comics?" And Ryan goes like, that explains my store.
Yeah.
It was a very, very bizarre encounter.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Sorry.
Do you know any comic book artists?
Oh God. Yeah, we had a dude roll in yesterday asking if we he's like, "Oh, I think I would just hang out here because I'm looking for he was an artist.
He was looking for a
He's like,
writer.
"Oh, I'm a comic artist and I'm looking for some comic writers. I'll just hang out here." And I'm like, huh?
If he buys books, why not?
No, he did not buy it. No,
That's why you have problems.
he's a comic book artist. Of course, he's not going to buy comics. That's a little art joke. It's a little, little independent artist slam there.
Yeah.
So yes, consigning is really difficult. There are small press publishers out there. I would look around; it's a lot easier. Diamond's tough to get into. They're turning down a lot of product these days, from what I heard.
But,
I went to this one.
honestly, just kickstart it. Put it online. Don't even bother. I'm dead serious. Don't even bother consigning at the stores.
I went to
Kickstart
this
it.
one comic book shop in Brooklyn.
Ship it.
And they had a old school shelf of just mini comics, fanzines.
So we've started buying from
printed at home kind of stuff.
Yeah. So we've started buying from Silver Sprocket, which is actually based out of San Francisco, and they do a lot of real underground indie comic stuff.
Yeah.
So I got a nice little stack of them over in the corner. I actually want to get a little spinner rack up by the
God fucking damn it! No,
Spinner rack on the
no
front.
more spinner racks.
short spinner rack.
No, it's still a spinner rack. No, somebody's gonna trip over it.
What, you going to do underground shit?
I got some over there. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, I got a pile of them.
Yeah, it was just cool to see.
Yeah.
It was totally old school style, and yeah, I actually kind of enjoyed that.
They're local, so it's really cool,
Yeah.
right? They're just not in San Francisco.
They're not your wife.
That is correct.
Yeah.
My wife is not a small press underground
Okay,
comic
just making
distributor.
sure.
Pretty sure.
Good
Okay.
check.
Yes. Yeah.
Took you a second,
Last
though.
time I checked. Well, it was a weird question.
Yeah.
When is the Comics Conspiracy comic coming out from her?
No, never. They were working on that 8 years ago. When
We-
Ryan announced on Twitter, he's like, "Oh my god, I'm writing a webcomic." When did one come out?
I love I just look.
When did it come out?
I'm a reader, baby. I'm not. here. Okay.
You did say, "Oh my god, I'm writing a webcomic."
Look, I also said I'm doing a third podcast. It's a little slow to start, okay, but we're working on it. We're working on it.
I know when
What
you
third
announced it.
podcast?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Leanne even drew like characters of Ryan Scott and people in underwear for some reason.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they the one dude that drew you as Nightwing, right?
That's different.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Lane.
Yeah.
Oh no!
there you go.
No.
Oh, that was
that was Ryan
Grosjean's.
Gwenpool.
Yeah, the Grosjean's brothers.
Yeah.
Well, as it's only the one guy, one brother that did it. No, that was excellent. I'm waiting for the sequel.
I was just looking up the name of the local store. Wow, cool.
Yeah, they're gone. They shut down.
The last I heard, they were moving.
Oh, I thought he shut down.
They shut down their Cupertino store, and
Yeah.
he was moving somewhere like Santa Clara.
Oh, wait. Is that the one that was by the
by Deanza?
Yeah, by the post office.
So he owns alternative comics.
Yeah, I would get ads like on Facebook all the time
Yeah.
about them. I was like,
That was a
fuck are these
funky
guys?
little store.
Yeah.
It had some DC and Marvel stuff,
But it's
like
not a-
wall, but just graphic novels.
Yeah. It's,
So you wanted to check that? I was always curious about
Yeah.
it. Okay,
It's not a comic book store. It's a publisher. It's
Is
a little
it
bit
like James's Place?
It's a little bit like
Slave
Slave
Labor.
Labor
Yeah.
used to do. Oh, no. I mean, James has a lot of Marvel and DC
Yeah,
and single
but
issues
This
and
is
stuff.
way small. This is like, or was.
That's got to be a hard business.
It's like
though.
85% underground and indie stuff,
It's got to be a hard
and
business.
a little selection of DC.
But it's he's a publisher, so
Yeah.
the money comes from the publishing. This is just a
Oh,
little
nice. Okay, I was
outlet
gonna
for
say,
him.
yeah.
But
I was
he
going to
has lots
say,
of
he's
weird
not in
stuff.
like
Yeah.
some
It's like the
artsy
gift shop
fartsy
at a
section in
museum.
San Francisco. You might be doing a lot better.
Right, yeah.
In the
Definitely.
suburbs, near like
In the
nothing. Oh.
tucked in the back of
Yeah.
a strip mall that you would never even see it.
The one across the street from Deanza?
No, it was by the post office, I think, where the pool place is.
Yep.
Okay.
Like
I
around
know
there.
this is
I
exciting
never-
for anybody
yeah.
not in the Bay Area, but that pool hall is called Paul and Eddie's.
Okay.
And there's this little shopping center next to it that had like a tutoring center, a ballet school, and then in the
So
very
why didn't
Both
we
I
move
knew
there?
much about.
literally in the very back, like you wouldn't see it from the street. You'd have no idea it was there. You
Yeah,
wouldn't see
the
it
only
walking
reason
by.
how I knew was those
Yeah.
Facebook ads. Yeah.
Hey, he's one of my customers. Oh, I haven't seen him
He
in a
was?
while, but yeah.
Yeah. I know when they were moving the store, it was 50% off the whole store.
Yeah.
And they were packing it up, and he was telling me we're moving to I can't remember where.
Yeah.
But the point being, that's the kind of store that if this guy really wanted his comics in a store,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the kind of store
that's
to
the kind
go
of store.
after.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Next question.
I do think the comic conspiracy comic needs to come back. That was excellent. Audacity was about to make his appearance.
Zach asks, if you could remove a storyline you didn't like from your favorite character's continuity, what would it be? Did he write this for me? Penance. Oh, this is just go Civil War and on, all right, at this point. Just original Speedball or nothing. Civil War never happened. Get out of here, Mark Miller. Ruin my New Warriors. Fuck out of here.
He did that for you.
Dick Grayson? Rick Grayson?
Grayson.
Grayson? Great.
You already had your pick.
well,
Speak
I get
all.
two.
Okay, fine.
He's stealing
he's a-
mine. That's why he's getting
picking- I'm
two,
picking
because
Marshall.
It's like the weekly picks.
If he keeps going down this path, it's going to be Drake next.
Yeah.
No, there's that, and Red Nightwing was no good either.
Nifty too. At least he was still Nightwing.
Yeah, but it was Red Nightwing. That's not right.
Yeah, let's just pretend that
Damn right.
Grayson never happened. Or Rick Grayson.
But
never
I like
happened.
Grayson. Grayson was
No,
a good
Rick.
story.
Yeah, let's pretend Rick never happened. But Penance. Penance is the answer. Kevin's thinking. He's thinking.
My first answer was the hook hand Aquaman.
Oh, I like that.
Well, there's no accounting for taste. But my true answer, that's just mildly annoying. My true, from the bottom of my heart and soul answer is Identity Crisis. As a Elseworlds standalone story, great. As part of Justice League continuity, garbage.
I can kind of vouch for that. I agree with that.
A lot of people hate Identity Crisis.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, as a comic, it's good. As part of the history of those characters, I object.
Like, because it's in canon.
Yeah.
Because of the brainwashing?
No.
Well, because it's...
The four-letter word.
Fuck?
Starts with an
Similar.
Rape.
Yeah,
It was obviously the
Sydney-
brainwashing went against me too because
you know.
I don't remember.
You don't remember Identity?
Light
The
was
major
like,
point of the
now-
book.
Well,
is
anyway,
it's-
let's... Brock, what's your pick?
Oh,
Jeez.
And all the Green Arrow, Green Lantern stuff was never about politics. It was actually about this, but it was disguised as politics.
Yeah. Wow, I obviously
I
didn't
don't
remember that
remember.
the way I remembered it.
I don't know. I mean, can we just erase Superboy Prime?
Ryan's not here, so must go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did
So
that on
he-
purpose.
Yeah.
So would that mean you would erase Infinite Crisis, or you just like at the end of Crisis on Infinite Earth, Superboy Prime is
Just
gone?
poof, gone.
Okay.
Yeah. Just done.
All right.
Just, let's forget that character.
Brock has
even
erased Superboy Prime.
Oh, you motherfucker. But then Infinite Crisis doesn't
After
happen.
is fine.
After what?
After Infinite Crisis is fine. Like, erase him after that.
Oh, I got one. Sorry, shit. I keep cutting you off. I got one. No nose Wolverine.
Oh, jeez.
That's Joe Mad. Isn't that your boy?
No nose Wolverine's got to go. Except for those 2 issues where Elektra showed up. That was good stuff. The rest has got to go.
even the Fire Claws?
All bad. That's the 4 Horsemen Wolverine, I think. That's bad, too.
No, the new stuff. The Hot Claws.
I didn't even get that far.
All right. Verum Libertas wants to know, in the latest issue of House of X, no spoilers, don't worry. You've seen Professor X. He's been standing. Right?
No,
we know
Powers
this.
is the one I haven't read.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
okay.
there's no
Yeah.
spoilers here. When Magneto and Xavier meet with Sinister, Xavier's in his chair.
Sorry, you get spoiled.
Well, I haven't seen. Okay.
That's the latest issue.
Oh, okay.
No, that's issue 4, but that was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
No, it's last week.
Was it lost?
No, Powers was last week, wasn't it?
I don't remember. Anyway,
Well, I haven't read this scene, so whatever scene this is in is where my reading has ended.
So he's in his chair, right? But he's
standing.
do we
in
know?
the
But he's
other
standing
stuff.
in the other stuff, right? So again, I don't. And his question is, when does this take place? Before AVX? But is it older? Is it newer? I don't get the whole AVX thing. Is that when they killed Professor X? Is that when he died?
Yeah, he
It was
died in
AVX?
issue 11 of AVX.
Yeah. So and he comes back in.
That
Astonishing,
astonishing one
yeah.
is the brain.
But it's-
everybody wants the brain.
Like they just completely ignore like that after that happens. Like he's not in the other books. So
And then he comes back in astonishing again, the Charles Soule one.
Yeah.
With the Shadow King.
yeah. But I don't. To me, like none of this. It doesn't matter because none of this is real, quote unquote.
It's all a different timeline.
Right. It's all these weird timelines, weird all Moira alternate Earth. So I'm kind of. This is a little problem I have with the House and Powers. It's cool, but it might all be meaningless at the end if it's not the quote unquote real X-Men. Right. If these are all weird parallel dimension stories. I mean, again, it's a cool book, but
This X-Men was from this timeline.
you know, like
this X-Men was
the
from
Mr. Miracle comic. Is that in continuity? Is that this? I mean, those questions aren't being posed by that book. That book's its own thing. House of Powers is the main Marvel Universe X-Men comics replacing the entire X-Men universe. If they're not in continuity, if they're doing something like Age of Apocalypse, again, understandable, right? This is sort of that version of, I guess this is kind of like Age of Apocalypse, but the real thing is what happens after. So this is a cool side story, but a lot of these questions I don't have an answer for, and I don't think it really matters because, again, it's not the real X-Men characters.
Like they have the escape hatch of like she's got 10 or 11 lives if she plays it right. So they could just pull the cord out and be like,
Yeah.
all right, reset again.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And now it's the 616 X-Men you've known forever, and everything that's happened has happened, right? I mean, I expect that is what happens. That this is all these stories are these random alternate timeline, what if parallel dimension stuff that is, you know, again, an interesting story but meaningless to the ongoing plot of the X-Men.
I'm hoping it'll stick because like my thing I would erase from like however many like years back was kind of just like I guess the X-Men stuff at least after Secret Wars, like after the Bendis stuff.
Yeah. The modern, the modern Secret Wars
Like I'm
stuff.
hoping this will kind of re-cement the X-Men.
Oh, definitely the last 10 years has been big kind of like, the X-Men are sort of all over the place and nothing really sticks and nothing really lasts. And I thought Bendis' all-new X-Men was decent. I liked the idea, but it just went on. Those kids should have been gone by the third arc, right? I mean, they just kept dragging him along, and you're like, get out of here. Like, go back to the regular comic, please.
And Uncanny was trying to do like, okay, like Scott's going to start a revolution.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, he didn't.
No, yeah, it's over. It's done. Yeah.
I mean, the last time I really cared about reading X-Men comics was like that Messiah Complex and Messiah War and all that stuff. Like that stuff was really, really good. And then after that, it was just this. They were floundering, and like they'd moved to San Francisco, and
there's been nuggets, right? There's been good stuff. I mean, I think you have the Morrison, the Whedon run; those are very solid. And then after that, it just for so long, the X-Men were just not the main focus. So he does have another question here. He says, "I'm listening to some old episodes, and Ryan said the original."
I'm sorry.
Ryan said that the new Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, series would be canceled rather quickly.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to Ryan Higgins.
In another episode, Ryan praised DC for taking chances on things like Prez.
Yeah.
And not,
totally Ryan. You're
having,
getting it totally correct.
And not having everything be the same.
You're totally getting everything correct.
Where the fuck is the ending to Prez?
You gotta look with that. Do you think Marvel takes less chances with books like this, more than DC? Oh, sorry. Do you think Marvel takes less chances with books, and DC takes more, but they just have less? Marvel has less success with the books, or they take the wrong chances?
This is not the story you're supposed to get out of this. The story is that when Marvel does it, he thinks it's shit, and when DC does it, it's pure gold.
Well, Kamala Khan is not.
You don't have to defend it. I'm just making an observation, my friend.
Kamala Khan is a risk from a gender and race portrayal of the character.
Sure.
But it's not a risk as far as a story. It's still a Marvel Comics mainstream superhero comic, right? Marvel so rarely does anything outside of 616.
You're getting yourself out of this one. We all know the truth behind it all. You're getting out of this one.
I'm 100% dead wrong. Clearly, Ms. Marvel lasted a long time, right?
The thing is with Ms. Marvel, you have to remember, at the same time, that was kind of the rise of... I mean, Miles had been out for a little bit, but he was on the rise again.
Yeah.
When she had come into the fray.
But
and then that was...
all those other characters.
There was a lot of other characters that just didn't go anywhere. But also that was a character that they could then aim at the young adult market. Like they could aim it at a younger market, sure. And that's something that I think that they took and did a very good job with. On the other side, they didn't do a decent job with Riri Williams in the same instance. But she was like the second. She came after it.
There's like 3 or 4 that we remember. There was about 80 that we're forgetting. Do you remember all those new characters Marvel introduced? Yeah. Like they were, I literally don't remember their names.
Like Kate Bishop, who's going to be starring in this Hawkeye TV show.
That's different. That's
like
Young
Hulkling,
Avengers.
That's going to be like one of the main guys in this big Marvel thing coming up.
Young Avengers are just the 10th team book for Marvel. Again, normal
the
superhero
stuff I
comics.
mentioned don't count besides seeing the other things.
I mean, that's
give me some characters.
That's
Is Squirrel Girl that's still running around?
Oh no! Trust me.
Give me some names.
Does Viv Vision still do stuff?
I mean, the Champions is on their 7th relaunch already, right? I mean, it's canceled.
Still around.
It's issue number 10.
That's that Justice J. Rod thing.
Some of those new characters do find success outside of the comics that keeps them around. The odds of Riri Williams appearing in an MCU movie is probably 100%.
Besides the TV show that's
right.
Probably coming.
You think it's going to be a TV show?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, you're right. Kate Bishop being in a Hawkeye TV show makes a lot of sense. That character in the comics does nothing, right? The comics don't sell. None of these comics sell, right?
What?
But the characters have...
That Hawkeye run is doing really well, dude.
Potential... Which Hawkeye? The original? The Matt Fraction run?
Yeah.
Okay, the original run... Yes, and Young Avengers.
That is
a
Kate Bishop comic.
But she's been in 6 other Hawkeye series since that have all flopped after 4 issues.
Because it's at your store.
No, not
yes,
no.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't cancel Marvel Comics.
Yes,
Marvel
you do
cancels
all
Marvel
the time.
Comics.
I'm kidding.
They just canceled the Shuri book. Shuri should not. I mean, that should be a major title for Marvel based on the movie, right? So the success of these characters outside of the comics is it's clear that some of them have had success. Again. All those Inhumans characters, none of them lasted. Wasp, the third Wasp,
Unstable
whatever
Wasp,
her name is,
that was so
bad.
I'm trying to remember.
Gwenpool.
I'm trying to
God,
remember
they just
what
keep
the-
trying, but there's just no attachment to that character.
What was that? It was the Fool Killer, Slapstick.
Yeah, all those.
What was?
all those.
I'm
was
trying to
Kaka.
think of the ones that they
That
overshipped
was
to.
cocky.
It was
We
all
don't
those.
even have to talk
Yes,
about that
Mosaic.
Mosaic.
Right,
That was
all
it.
the Inhumans. Right.
So
So
Inhumans was a bad push by Marvel.
there are some characters. Right,
Let's
so
just agree and move on from that. shit.
clearly, Miss Marvel has success outside of the comic book industry, right? And that is a character with potential, and the books, the trades sell well enough, and they're going to keep doing this character. A lot of these characters don't succeed, right? Now, in the case of DC with Perez, clearly that book did not succeed. It failed miserably, right? And that book is not successful, and that character won't be in anything. But it's not a superhero comic in the DC universe, right? You take the entirety of Vertigo, some of this Black Label stuff that they're doing, things like Far Sector, it's a Green Lantern, but it's not a Green Lantern, right? It's a totally other thing. DC has had a history going back, I mean, into the 80s, but really even earlier than that, of having like different books than superhero comics in the DC universe.
Yeah, they had like
Marvel's
detective crime books.
Oh, I mean, if you go way back, yeah, but I mean, you have
Marvel had other than superheroes. They had the monsters and a Mary Jane bikini book.
again.
Or was it Aunt May?
Sure,
May's
Aunt May.
bikini.
Yes.
Hey, Spirits of Vengeance, man.
Now, I would say
Aunt
Marvel
May is even hot in the movies now. I think it's based on that book.
in the 70s. Marvel had a bunch of experimental stuff, all the horror stuff, all the Return of the Monster comics, Conan, right? The Star Wars, all the licensed properties. Like those are big deals. Those are cool ideas, right?
Yeah.
Marvel doesn't do that anymore. They tried Max. They had a few.
Yeah, but Max doesn't really count though. Max was kind of a weird counter to a weird Vertigo counter,
But it wasn't.
But they took.
Right.
I think they didn't really. It was weird taking Marvel characters and just throwing adult stuff at it.
Yeah. I
mean, it
Marvel
worked for
has
Punisher, but beyond that, it was kind of weird.
Sandman and Swamp Thing are in the DC universe, but they are not the same thing. Marvel has no counter to those books, right? They have no counter to Prez. They have no counter to Doom Patrol, right? They have no counter to I mean,
What
Preacher.
about Ecstatics?
Ecstatics is like legitimately kind of close to something that I think DC would have done, but still, it is an X-Men book. They show up, the X-Men are in there, Wolverine's in there, right? And yes, Superman's in Doom Patrol, and Animal Man's, and Abstrange is in Swamp Thing. These characters do clearly exist, but you can't look at the Swamp Thing comic from Alan Moore or Neil Gaiman's Sandman and tell me that is like a DC superhero comic.
Yeah, but to be fair though, now I know that they're trying to make it all DC comics, but before then, I mean, even though Vertigo was under DC, to me that was a separate entity altogether.
Oh yeah.
Like DC Comics was DC Comics, right? Like Prez back then, I think would have been under Vertigo, or some other label. Like to me,
absolutely.
To me, that never really counted it. Like for me, I never was looking for an answer from Marvel's side for it. Because
I don't know if you heard what happened. So Marvel signed, and this is not. We don't have a lot of details, so there's not really much to say yet. But Marvel signed an exclusive deal with Scholastic for original young adult and all ages graphic novels, right? That's where your Shuri comic is going to be. That's where your Miss Marvel comic is going to be. That's because all these books are being canceled. They're ending Squirrel Girl, right? All these books are being ended. That's the target audience. Now that is different. Those
but
are
give it
different
another
books.
10 years.
Well,
then we gotta have number one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But now those are not. It's like what DC did with the Ink and Zoom or the DC Kids or whatever they're calling it now. That Harley Quinn book that came out the other week, that is not...
I haven't read it, but I read a preview.
I mean, it is not... It's not superhero DC Harley Quinn. That's not what it is, right? So Marvel is doing some of... I think that would have succeeded better had they launched this stuff out of the gate, right? I think the idea behind Squirrel Girl, Miss Marvel... These are all sound concepts.
Oh, I remember one. There was the dinosaur lady.
Moon Girl.
She's getting her own...
I actually like that one.
She's getting her own cartoon. Right?
Yeah.
And there's going to be a shitload of kids' comics published by comic companies that aren't Marvel comics about Moon Girl, and they'll be very successful. A Moon Girl superhero comic in the Marvel universe
Fair enough.
has a really difficult chance of
Fair
succeeding. And these are different things, and this is the line that you're... So clearly, Miss Marvel is still going to be hanging out in the Marvel universe, but I think her role will be maybe a little more limited.
I know Marvel already publishes 200 comics a month, but Marvel has never had a Vertigo. Do you think they could?
No. I mean, yes, they have. Epic and Max.
But Epic was a magazine.
Well, they also had Icon.
Epic was a single magazine. I'm talking about a sub-label. where
they had Max
had
and they
Icon.
canceled it.
No, Max,
Icon-
Max doesn't count. Max was still Marvel stuff.
Max was just
It was
Marvel
Icon
adults.
where they were like, okay, this is our
the
indie
Bendis.
label, right?
But now 0% chance. 10 years ago, before Disney, yeah, possibility.
But I think they also only created Icon just to piece
Bendis. Yeah.
Because at the time, Bendis was doing all the stuff with
Image. Yeah.
It's for him to move stuff over, and I think now he even moved it out of Marvel, right?
Oh, it's all at DC.
DC is doing the same thing now. They're like,
DC has
here's
the whole
your
thing.
side label, do whatever you want.
It's
with it.
huge. I mean, the Jinx World stuff. He published like 8 books on that thing already by DC, and he couldn't get anything out from Marvel the last couple of years. I don't know if that was him or Marvel. He released those books so fast. I have to assume they were just sitting in a drawer, done, and Marvel was like, "Look, we're not going to publish this. Sorry." So
That's why he left.
but now, 0% chance that Marvel would have their own Vertigo. DC doesn't have a Vertigo,
I know, yeah,
right?
that's
so,
what I mean.
So
Yeah.
zero. And yes, I think at the end of the day, yes, Marvel takes less chances with their books. I don't, DC's had so many random books, Young Heroes in Love, Starman, right, Hitman. Those are pretty challenging books from the 90s. Not just DC, not just like DC proper. These days, maybe a little less. Black Label's a little risky, but it turned out very well.
By the way, how are you ordering on that? Well, this is a bad commentary because I can't remember
Black
the
Label,
title.
or-
No, the Green Lantern
A Far Sector?
Far Sector. So the author has huge credibility
Yeah.
as a novelist.
Yep.
How does that translate into your orders?
I pitched it to all my Green Lantern people. I got a couple replies. I'll get a bunch of number ones. And
Did you pitch it or did you hub it?
I hubbed it. I emailed all my Green Lantern subs and said, "Hey, this is a Vertigo book featuring a Green Lantern. I don't like. This is going to be weird. I don't know the deal. I don't know if this is in continuity. It's its own thing. It looks neat. We'll see what happens. Oh, yeah, I'll get a bunch of ones. Probably down to 10 copies by number 3.
Yeah,
or
I just
4 or
don't know
something,
what is hard to know. Like, do people who read her series as the Broken Earth trilogy, people who would read that would track down a Green Lantern comic by that author because they like her novels?
Yeah, I mean, graphic novel down the road is probably that's the end game here.
Can I go back to this whole Vertigo site stuff?
Yeah, of
Because
course.
back then, I mean, Image isn't what Image is now. I feel like now, I just feel like nowadays, because of Image what Image is, these
right.
people are, why do they need to go to like DC or Marvel?
Yeah, we talked about
Right,
Snyder
yeah.
and Soul, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Going, Undiscovered Country.
Yeah.
They could have published that by DC,
Oh,
and DC
yeah.
would have bent over backwards
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
But
nowadays, you don't have to.
but they don't get a 7-figure
Yep.
movie deal
Yep.
Before
Yep.
the book is published.
Yep.
Right.
I want to go back to House of X.
No, Jesus Christ.
So, if the problem in
You're
House
learning
of
how to be on this podcast. It's like, you talk, let them talk, and then you come back to stuff.
took me a couple years. I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, there you go.
So if the problem in House of X is like all the AI stuff is like been created by humans to kill the mutants, why don't the mutants just create Nimrod and then have it kill the people?
You figured it out. That's the ending. That's the ending.
Don't look at the cover for Power 6.
There's a guy somewhere going, fuck, let me rewrite the comic.
Jonathan Hickman's like, damn it, cancel it. Create another alphabet.
Yeah.
Throw this guy off.
So, good question, Verum. And as rare as this is, clearly I was wrong about Miss Marvel. So, I will
Rare.
admit. As rare as it is.
Rare. Okay.
September 17th.
Yeah.
Ryan was wrong.
Yeah.
Mark it down.
Rare. Sure.
They have revelations.
Chris Lockhart, he's got
More
two
like
questions.
always.
He's got 2 questions. First one, I'll answer quick. Second one, we'll have a discussion. First one, he says, do you ever charge more than cover price for new comic books?
Ryan is actually pretty good about this.
My
charge you
former
more?
comic book... this is,
About being fair, actually.
I have a question. This is a little bit crazy, and I hope Chris can write back in and elaborate. He says, my former comic book store that went out of business used to charge an additional 20 to 26 cents more per issue for new books.
Did he get a free bag and board?
For example, a $3.99 book would be $4.25.
Does he get a free bag and board?
So there's 3 possibilities here. Okay, one, well, that's just tax, right? A $4 comic is
my famous story of
fourth-
first coming to these American shores and buying a 9-pocket binder page and going, "What do you mean it's 108? I only have 4 quarters."
Yeah, in a lot of other countries, in a lot of other countries, tax is included in the price. Here is added to the price. So a $3.99 comic is $4.35 in
I must believe
Silicon
that
Valley,
he knows
California.
that.
I assume he's right. But 2, if all comics are bagged and boarded, I'm calling you out, Travis. If all comics are bagged and boarded in this comic store,
That's my first thought, right?
they may be charging you that 25 extra cents for the bag and board that it comes with.
That makes sense.
Yeah. 3rd, they're charging you 25 cents extra for no reason. Right?
That's possible,
Which
too.
is possible. So let me know. If they came bagged and boarded, I think there's a chance that they're charging you 25 or 26 cents or whatever for the bag and board.
Yeah, and there are stores that do it.
If that's the case, they should be signage or something. I know another store that does it. I disagree with it. I don't think you should bag and board your stuff at the comic store, but hey, your prerogative, right?
Well, I remember when the first time I went to Golden Apple, because the former store I used to work at before, they raised the prices. We used to just give the bag and boards away for free for a while, and this is years and years ago when it was far cheaper.
We did too, right?
Yeah, it was years ago, right? So I remember going to Golden Apple down in L.A. and bought a couple comics, and I was about to walk away. I'm like, where the fuck are my bag and boards? And they kind of pointed me at the stack, and they're like, well, you can grab them, but it's going to be like 10 cents a pop, whatever it was at the time. And I was like really thrown off at the time. I'm like, why do I have to pay for my own bag and board? But it was like a few years later, that's a common thing now.
Yeah, a lot of stores. I mean, a lot of stores don't. And there's constant conversations about discounting and bags and boards and all the stuff in the retailer farm. I mean, there's no right or wrong. It's whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
It's money. If you're a business, you should try to make some. So, I'm pro charging. I love customers.
Ladies
I love
and gentlemen, Ryan
deals.
Higgins.
I love deals. I love sales. Trust me. Don't get me wrong. But I also like paying the bills and paying rent and continuing to operate a business that is open. So, what are you gonna do? But Chris's other question is, what's your favorite DC animated film?
Oh,
That's a big question.
oh, it's easy. It's New Frontier.
I go Return of the Joker.
Return of the Joker is really good. I was gonna say over Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. That's a lot of people's favorites.
Oh, I thought we were just counting this straight to.
I mean, he just says DC animated.
Teen
Titans go to the movies.
Did you say Return of the Joker?
Yeah.
That's quite a good one.
Yeah.
That's quite a good one.
I'm going with the Batman Superman movie.
What is that animated?
No,
whoa, whoa.
The World's Finest.
I thought you
That
meant
was
BVS.
really good too.
Oh, well, yeah.
World's Finest. It's not.
Kevin's favorite
I mean,
movie.
That was released on DVD as a movie.
technically not a movie. It was
It was like 4 episodes.
Yeah,
But it was released as the Batman Superman movie.
Oh, it's
so
so
that's
good.
why
Sure,
I'm
that was
counting.
really good. That was really good.
But I'll take the New Frontiers my second place.
I was look, the old style, the classic style. As much as I respect it, it's not necessarily my go-to thing because I'm a very image era, artist-driven kind of guy. But I remember watching. I wasn't even planning it. I think it was after a Doctor Who panel at WonderCon when it was still in San Francisco, and I think Charlie wanted to stick around to watch this New Frontier thing, and I actually did not care at all. I think I might even walked away and came back and sat down, and I was just completely floored by it. And I was like, since then, huge fan of Darwin Cook, a huge fan of the original work of New Frontier, and I just think it's really, really well done. And it feels fresh because when you watch it, you don't know what's going to happen. It just has that classic feel, and I think it's still my favorite by far. But for now,
that's good stuff. I mean, I'm not joking when I say Teen Titans go to the movies. It's so good. It's so funny. I mean,
ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Higgins.
I hate jokes, but it is so
Ladies,
good.
Except when
It's
somebody
so
gets
funny.
hit with a pie.
Oh
Yes.
my god!
Or it's about Challengers of the Unknown.
You know, I'll also nominate. I don't know. I really like The Dark Knight Returns.
the two-parter.
Yeah. I think it's a really good distillation of the comic.
I'm very even on almost all the DC movies. None of them really jump out at me as better than the rest.
I like the Death of Superman. That one was pretty
The
good.
first one?
the second one.
The second one. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
The first one's terrible.
I was gonna say. I just lost my train of thought.
But I need to rewatch Mask of the Phantasm. I got the Blu-ray set. I want to rewatch it because I actually haven't seen it in years. But I mean, that was always a top movie of mine. So,
You know, just for you, I'm gonna do the anti Leanne Hill cut. So instead of no jokes, it's gonna be double the jokes.
Only the joke.
Yeah.
and play each joke twice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like you watched it once, and then right after you think it's over, it's gonna hit you one more time.
The chain will be swinging for like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That shit.
All right. I got a couple of questions we'll hit up on Twitter as well. Oh boy, Rushosaurus. Let me change your name. He says, why did the PS4 game get a comic book, but the X-Men arcade game did not get a comic book? And I'll tell you why. Because it was based on a comic.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man PS4 game.
No? Wait, hold on.
Well, it's technically based on an animated episode.
I thought you were talking about the X-Men arcade game.
That's what he said.
Yeah, isn't
X-Men
that
arcade
based off the pilot of the
It's
90s
based
X-Men?
off Pride of the X-Men.
Yes!
Right. Which is based on Chris Claremont and Jim Lee's X-Men.
But Pride of the X-Men is so good.
Yeah.
What was
good.
who was right prior to Jim Lee?
Silvestri?
No,
he was
after.
After?
Kevin. Who was
I was out on X-Men at this point.
who was that little middle batch? Where's
After
Bryce?
Byrne?
Bryce is screaming. Yeah, it's after Byrne.
After
Way
Byrne? Well, after Byrne was Cockrum, but then Paul Smith.
No.
So then after that.
I like how he's going all encyclopedia, and you're like, no.
No,
But
I'm
I'd say
after.
that's Paul Smith is the end for me.
Yeah. No, there was a big batch in between. But yeah, I mean that was based on that era of X-Men comics, which is and then Pride of the Atom was the pilot, quote unquote pilot episode for
Pride
the
of the
X-Men
X-Men.
animated or Pride of the X-Men, sorry.
Yeah.
Was the pilot episode of the
So
X-Men
do you know
animated
how
series.
I'm doing air quotes here, watched that episode originally?
Oh.
Is there was a comic book that took like shots from the cartoon and added like bubbles in. So that's how I watched it for the first time. And then like
Pizza
years
Hut mini
later,
ones?
I think I got a bootleg VHS from someone. I was like, oh my god, it actually exists. Yeah. There was a Pizza Hut had like
Four VHS tapes.
that was like the first 4 episodes though.
No.
Yes, it
Four?
was. It was from
'Cause they
the
had
90s.
4 comics.
Yeah. But it was. I still have them.
VHSs?
All.
I
of
had
them.
them at some point.
I
don't
treasure
know
that
where they
stuff
are.
because that was one of the first things when I came to America. Is the first things I ever gotten.
That and the Gambit.
The Gambit was like on my second trip, I think. But yeah, I treasured those 4 VHSs. I want to say it's 2 VHSs.
It's
and
2 VHSs and 4 comics.
and 2 episodes on each VHS.
I think
Yes.
that's but it's 4 comics.
And I think I rewatched
had
it
the
so
mini.
many times, so you can't rewatch it anymore.
Question from Enzo. He says, "With the X-Men are finally rebooted and put into the MCU, what characters do you think must be on the team? Original, classic, or like a new X-Men team, or a mix of old and new? Who's on the team?"
For like the MCU stuff?
Yeah, for MCU. Who's on the team?
Oh, for the MCU reboot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, fucking Wolverine. There's no shit on that one.
Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's classic.
I
You
mean-
almost have to.
Blue and gold lineup's perfectly fine with me.
that's a lot of characters. So.
Well, I'm saying like from that batch of characters.
I think it's real tough to think of any other one, but some form of the original 5. So Jean Grey, Cyclops,
Beast,
Angel, and Iceman. Some version of that. You could leave out Angel or Iceman.
Yeah,
maybe.
I was going to say this exact same thing. Maybe even as far as Beastman. Maybe.
But I think Wolverine's a no-brainer.
yeah.
I think Colossus and Kitty Pryde are very likely.
I think it'd be a mixture of that giant-sized X-Men and the original 5.
And
It'd
I
be a
think
mixture of
I think
those two.
Storm and Nightcrawler are all but guaranteed.
Yeah.
You want a good, diverse cast.
Yeah,
you
but
know.
you also want to save some for a sequel.
Sure. But I think
So you start with one of the colors and then go with the second color.
You could throw in a couple other random characters on the side, but I don't. They're not going to come out with like 85 mutants in the first movie. You build over a couple movies. They honestly they should just have the original 5. It just do it in order. Just
Yeah, but you're not going to have the original 5 without Wolverine.
sequel, man. People will go see the first one. You goose that second movie with Wolverine, right?
Yeah, sure.
The second movie is giant size.
Although it would
They'll
be
get
pretty
End
cool.
credit is the end credit scene. Is
Here
the
you go.
claws.
Here you go. They all get killed by Krakoa at the end of the first movie, right?
Yeah. And then
So-
the second movie is Xavier Well, Cyclops would have to still be around
you
to
know what I
assemble
mean. Sure.
the rescue team.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your two-parter.
Man, it's like we're writing this shit for him. We should get paid.
You mean besides all the comics we have read, the writers that already written it? Oh, sure.
Yeah, people
We have the idea.
I was going to say, people already wrote it.
People already wrote it, but we're telling them how to.
We're saying it out loud.
We're saying how to execute it. All right.
Brandon says, how long before one of the big two decide to take the facsimile editions to the next logical conclusion, the facsimile series, where they reprint...
You're speaking a bunch of words I'm not understanding it right now. I can translate.
How long before one of the big two, that's Marvel and DC, decide to take the facsimile editions...
The fuck?
The facsimile editions are the
exact reprint.
The replica reprints of the issues.
Say that word again?
Replica?
No.
Facsimile.
Like a fax.
Oh.
Facsimile.
Okay.
How would you say it?
Face mile.
Reprint?
Yeah. The facsimile edition to the next logical conclusion, meaning clearly the next step after the single issue facsimile edition, the facsimile series, in which they reprint every issue of a series, even though there's already been collected editions. Well, Brandon, they have done this. DC did this with Sandman. They reprinted the first
24, I think it was.
Wait. Didn't
with
they
the new
do that
coloring job?
They didn't do that with Burn something, where they just reprinted stuff later from previous Burn stuff?
Classic X-Men. X-Men Classic. Yep.
Yeah. So they do that even back then.
Marvel Tales.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The Marvel superheroes stuff in the past. No. I mean, his question is the exact
facsimile. So the
someone get my
series.
Super Nintendo ads and NES ads in the back.
Yeah.
So
I'm down for that.
Would you buy it if it looks exactly like the original comic?
Because I all have the originals for this. Like this stuff right here, I don't know, and I'm pointing at the spinner rack back here. Well,
I think you'd have to ask who's the market for a monthly $3.99
reprint
when you could buy it in a book.
Yeah, there is a kind of cap to that of who would be interested. I think
too much also damages the market for it too, because before you know it, we're gonna have too much of that stuff, and interest dies down.
I could see. Well, this would have been maybe the year to do it. No. Would it be 40, 61, 71, 81, 91, the other one, 21? No, we already passed FF's 50th anniversary. Yeah, that was 20. That was 2011. Fantastic Four. That was 50. Shit, that would have been the time to do it. Do the 101 issue run of FF. I think that would have been the one to do. I think you do the entire Stanley Jack Kirby run of FF. At DC, I don't see what would it. Again, you could reprint a shitload of early Golden Age comics, but I think the audience for that's very minimal. In ongoing.
Maybe they'll reprint those first 26 issues of Detective.
Yeah, no, unlikely.
Well, we are getting that. What is it? More fun?
Yeah. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Fun comics.
Which is reprinted it's a oversized
hardcover.
Can we talk
about terrific comics?
Jesus.
They're getting better and better each day, man. I'm very entertained.
We could talk about this real quickly for people who don't know.
It has to be a kid at this point, right? It's not even a grown-up.
This is the company that stole Youngblood away from Rob Liefeld.
I still think it's a kid. What if it's some 11-year-old kid in some basement going, I got Youngblood, and Rob Liefeld like, fuck you, you don't? And I guess, yes, I do.
And if you follow Terrific Publications LLC, I think it's like their full name.
Yeah, we're gonna rock you
on
you
Twitter.
Forget that part.
At this point, it is just 100% a troll job.
Today was a fucking train wreck.
It's not a train wreck. It was fucking glorious, man.
There is no way that they're serious. Like, it was kind of like, what is going on with these guys at first? Now it is like, no, they are not serious. This is a 100% troll job. Just someone figured out how to con Liefeld out of his ownership of the comic.
Is that for real, though?
Yeah. And
wait, how would you know?
According to him, it is.
Yeah, Liefeld.
Liefeld said this.
Yeah.
What if it's Liefeld himself doing all this?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that'd be an excellent marketing job.
They are dragging him hard, and it's the craziest thing. And the new thing today was, send us your ideas for villains for the book. and we'll put them in the comic.
No, it gets better.
Also, we own all the rights to the characters.
Yeah, no,
and
it was like it was an art contest.
But that's
any
not how-
artist want to submit anything. And by the way, once it's submitted, we own it.
That's not how this works. What was the some random
Dude,
some
the
random
replies were glorious.
some random pop up big Hollywood like content creator got a bunch of big names recently. I can't remember the name of the company. It's some random company that just popped out of nowhere that's going to be gone by next year. But
how you're so enthusiastic about it.
I can't. I just don't remember the name of the company. Again, it's like the random. Really, what if we got a bunch of celebrities to make content? Hey, these guys will be gone next year. But one of the pitches was send us your artwork and we'll feature it on our site. Also, we own everything. This is a troll on that. There is no chance this is real. There's no chance. There's 0% chance these guys are real.
Well, the funny thing is they quoted they said that we're just doing what Eric Larson did for Savage Dragon. And Eric Larson had to come on and say, I didn't fucking take their fucking property, and I gave them copies of the comic that their shit was in who won.
Yeah.
Like, people who retained whatever it was that they had. Like, he's like, I didn't basically dick my fans out of what they created.
Yeah, no,
they canceled the contest later and said they were going to check with the lawyers. It was dude. Their tweets and responses are pure entertainment.
They're the worst.
Yeah.
No. You should read the responses. They're freaking glorious.
No, I did read the responses. I was having to take screenshots for a guy because he got blocked. Chris Fongello, the one that they started going after directly.
I have no.
And
idea.
then they blocked him. Then they unblocked him to yell at him some more. And then later on in the day, after they canceled it, they quoted him directly. And then some other comic book creator, was like, "Oh, it was Rich Johnson." And he goes, "Did you pull that directly from from Chris's tweet?" Yeah, it was.
I like all the people that are pitching their characters right now. They're like, they're like Sonic Hedgehog. Like it's
was
Sonic
a lot
the
of
Hoop Dog or something like that, and it's like a pencil drawing of Sonic the Hedgehog.
There was a lot of middle finger
They're like,
art.
we'll let you use this.
Yeah.
But I think you like Chip Zdarsky and Tom Taylor's dog pile of, well, if you do submit to this, I own it too.
Yeah, because that's how this works.
Yeah, no, the terrific thing is the worst.
That's awesome.
Go.
The worst.
What are two more questions here? Store question.
And then an email.
Hey, can we interview this guy on the podcast? It's got to be fucking entertaining. Oh yeah, I think it'd be great.
Do a point.
Watch it. Just because I said that tomorrow he's going to have 100 DMs. The price starting now.
Did you follow them?
No.
Follow them. They'll instantaneously DM you.
Nope.
What's the store question?
One or two more questions, and I guess maybe we'll see if we can find an email from Timothy Bradshaw.
Yeah.
He says, what's your policy on returns or exchanges? Do you let people do straight up value for value exchanges on trades and floppies? No. Random walk-in dude is like, yeah, I bought this.
May have to talk to him.
I need to return this. No.
No.
Long time
was it red? Did it have like bended covers?
Well, yeah. Long time customer was like, hey, I bought two of these. Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, sure, we'll exchange it. Person walks in, hey, I bought this. It was the wrong book. Can I exchange it for something else? Yeah, sure. Okay, you got the receipt. You just bought it. It's perfect shape. Yeah. No returns.
The best
for the most
return I ever had was a guy came in, bought some Doctor Strange trades for his son.
Yeah.
And then came back the next day and said, I completely bought the wrong things. And I was like, oh. And he's like, yeah, my wife sent me back. I'm like, oh, okay. Your wife basically sent you back here to correct it? I'll take that.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, I'll exchange something for someone if they
Well, I thought the story was going to go different. I thought if we bought 1 through 4,
No, like
he's going to, hey, I bought the wrong ones. I meant to buy 5 through 8.
The guy basically walked in and came to the counter and goes, my wife basically told me I was an idiot and I needed to come back and fix this shit. And I was like, all right, that's perfectly honest. So funny thing is he exchanged for some and then came back another time and bought some more stuff. So,
well, he got smarter that way because he
actually had his son.
He probably started paying. He probably started paying in cash, and he also started not like leaving in the car, get into the house later at night.
Learn to space it out a little bit.
Yeah. There's tricks to it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. I don't like. We don't.
Bryce
get too many
Larson
returns.
is famously. Kelly's not listening to this podcast, right?
Nobody with
Bryce is not listening to this
Yeah,
podcast.
nobody in that house listens.
I was
to
going to say, because Bryce notoriously goes to Ryan. Go, all right, here's my credit card for this. Just put 20 on this. Here's cash for everything else.
Like I said, I have a lot of customers that do that.
Yeah.
So, quite a few.
Oh, if this register could talk.
I'll do one more, then I'll see if I can get an email here. This is from Tor. He says, December is jam-packed for DC. What are some new up-and-coming comics from DC you're looking forward to the most? For me, it's the new Constantine series, yes. Although,
Constantine.
It's Cy Superior.
superior.
But his dreaming is not bad.
Not bad. So,
The recent few issues are, what the fuck
very
is this?
weird.
Very Salisbury.
Yeah. The question...
Yeah, the
Question. Yes.
So, if you're a customer of Comics Conspiracy, I just sent out our email to all our people to get all the Black Label stuff. The question is now, sight unseen, it is going to be, speaking of returns, it's going to be a fully returnable comic book here. If you buy the first issue and you do not like it, you can return it for store credit. We will take it back, no questions asked. I am so excited. Question, hey, Bill Sienkiewicz, Jeff Lemire, and Lemire? How do you say Lemire?
It's not making that Mr. Miracle cut, though?
And Dennis Cohen, no. That's rare. I think people will buy this. It's also Black Label.
Yeah.
Are you do a Mr. Miracle for Adam Strange next year?
No, because I just copied people over from Mr. Miracle to get it. They're already in.
Yeah. He already did it once. He doesn't need to do it again for that.
So
He's already got the Tom King hook in
That's
him.
going to be big. Last God. I'm curious about that. That's the fantasy series DC's doing. I think it's going to really fly under the radar, but I hope it's going to look star.
Is that one fully returnable?
No. I mean, for us or for
For us.
like DC?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so.
That's a shame. It should be.
The new Hill House horror comics, Gotham City Monsters. City Monsters, I think, is going to fly under people's radar. That the first issue was okay.
I know Jim will buy it.
The Ocean
read
Master
it.
one shot, He-Man, and my usual pulls. He-Man, are you going to get this new He-Man comic, Toby?
Sure.
It's the what is it? It's
Doesn't
like
matter.
some like
I buy it.
He-Man and the Slaves of the
Wait,
Multiverse?
what kind of slaves?
it's some like multiverse He-Man book. Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but
What's the worst with what He-Man's?
it looks interesting.
It's all one timeline.
Well, maybe not.
He
anymore.
goes from Eternia to space. Then he comes back to Eternia. And
Space He-Man?
space he just forgets.
He dies 10 times.
Yeah, but he forgets about that.
Well, it's something.
Hopefully we get an 11th.
Can we talk about this Birds of Prey poster?
Sure, looks good.
Freaking love it.
Looks good.
I have a short memory. I forgot that we already talked about it.
So
I
else is-
really think this new Black Canary look is actually kind of cool, even though it's not the way I would have gone for a movie version. But I mean, this updated look is kind of good.
Yeah.
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 I want to see a full trailer. Can you make that happen? Pull your strings at DC. Call your friends. Call Jeff Jones.
There'll be a trailer in front of Joker. No question.
Yeah, so
Nah, that's not good enough. I want sooner. Can you please call your friends at DC?
We got
and,
the teaser. They had the teaser in front
Yeah,
of it.
in fucking Russian. Can you call your...
No, it's in front of it here. It's real. I mean, it's the same thing.
It's real?
Yeah, it's super short. Yeah, it was in front of it.
Just because it was in Russian doesn't mean it wasn't
No,
real.
I saw it in the theater. I saw it in front of it. Chapter 2.
You went to watch it?
I did, yeah.
How was that?
Really good.
So you like clowns?
Well, no.
Yeah.
I don't
fine
like
line
them.
here. He does not like clowns, but he does like pies and faces.
Yes.
This clown was not funny.
No.
Yeah.
No clown is
Yes.
funny.
If it had a pie,
I probably would have killed someone.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't flinch once when I was standing over you when you were sleeping at San Diego in my scary clown mask.
Chris, why don't you take a number between 13 and 19?
37.
Do I have to say the number, or is this the think of the number?
No, tell me a number.
don't pick 18 or 19 though.
Okay, I'm going to go 14.
Okay, why don't you give me a month?
June.
See, we start to get just less emails as time goes on because we never answer any of them.
Yeah, so this should be a gold mine back in those early years.
Okay. Here we go. Here's
Wait, what year?
This is
June
I
2014.
have none from June. I do have July 13th.
Was that a Friday the 13th?
I don't know. July 13th, 2014. This is from Nick. He says, "Hey guys, does Jason Todd have a cult following? For some reason, he is one of my favorite DC characters. I love his origins as the Red Hood. What I don't understand is why DC is continuously butchering the character in a new ongoing title, Red Hood and the Outlaws. Please let me know your opinion." Now, Nick, let me just say that we are in a golden age for Jason Todd recently. Have you seen the first 2 episodes of Titans Season 2?
Have you?
Oh my God, yes!
I thought you were behind on DCU.
No, I'm keeping on my Titans. Come on.
I was going to say it's DC.
All right,
Yeah.
It's a Marvel show.
I thought you hadn't finished-
Netflix Marvel.
I haven't finished
Swamp
Thing.
Thing.
I haven't finished
You
Swamp
finished
Thing.
Doom Patrol.
I finished Doom Patrol.
Okay.
Yeah. I finished
All right.
Doom Patrol weeks ago.
I
Dude,
did too. I had to rewatch the last episode. Something just happened.
Jason Todd is so good on the show. He's such a fucking asshole. Oh, I love him.
You know,
You just want to slap
will
the
see-
shit out of him.
you know,
This is what.
I will never understand this dude ever in my
You
life.
like Jason Todd and you like
so
Superboy
good.
Prime,
Oh,
but if
yes.
you met those characters
Oh, you
in real
hate
life,
them.
you would, you
you
would
would-
blow up the store to kill them.
Oh, but that is Jason Todd. He is such
You know,
a fucking.
you know who we can
dick.
also add to that list?
He's perfect.
Damian Wayne.
Oh, Damien's just, God tier. Okay, come on. But Jason Todd, he's
You
basically
make no sense, Higgins.
he is like half Damien, half Jason Todd.
You know,
He's
even Brock makes sense.
he's a little
Yeah.
shit in this.
You makes no sense.
You realize how hard that was for Toby to say?
Yeah, you make no
Why?
sense with all of this
Why?
shit.
Jason Todd's incredible in the Titans show.
You do realize he
Incredible.
just wants to scream "Titans are back, bitches!" right
Titans
now.
are back, bitches. Okay, it's so good. He's such a dick. It's so
I'm gonna
funny.
I'm gonna go onto the streets.
Have you seen
of
him?
fucking Sunnyvale and
Why?
find the dipsy shit of whatever that's called of
The what?
dipshits of the
Trump,
dippiest.
Trump already left to L.A.
dipshits.
Trump already went to L.A.
Oh, I'm gonna bring him in here too. I just want to see what Ryan does. If he's gonna be like, "Hey, I love all these people."
No. But Jason Todd on the Titans show.
I don't understand how you can enjoy it when you hate all that shit in real life.
Okay, I want to.
He's not. It's not real.
So if Trump shows up on the fucking Titans show, you're like, "This is fucking glorious! It's
Beats
the
the
best
shit out
thing
of him,
ever."
for sure.
Trump is like the Maxwell Lord of the Titans, starring on that show.
I could see it. Yeah,
And
yeah,
you'd be
yeah,
into
yeah.
it.
Oh, all depends.
Man, I love that guy. He's like a tough talking asshole. He's like, that's my hero.
No, Jason Todd's he's a bitch in the show, and it's so great. He's such a jerk.
Look, I actually fully agree with you. It's just I'm flabbergasted by how much you like it.
Oh, he is, because he's an
He would-
asshole. It's so funny. Because it's Jason Todd.
So back to Nick's email about he talked about Red Hood and the Outlaws being bad.
It started.
And this is
The art was phenomenal in that.
well, no,
book.
this was after
Rockefort.
New 52 had started, and we had a
It was
decent
Rockefort,
run.
isn't it?
Yeah, but the later
But
half.
the later half of that run is about
God,
where this
not
email
great.
is.
Not great.
And this was before we got Red Hood Arsenal,
which is
which
unreadable.
is fucking garbage.
So I actually read all of Red Hood and the Outlaws. I liked it. Red Hood Arsenal was terrible.
I didn't even know that book existed.
And Red Hood Outlaw, or Red Hood and the Outlaws plus the new Red Hood Outlaw, is actually really good.
I kind
Same
of like
writer-
that new look.
Same writer through the whole series.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
I like the new hood look.
Yeah. I mean, Red Hood during the post Morrison, post Hush stuff was really good.
Mm-hmm.
The Red Robin, the Red Hood, what's that one?
I actually kind of was wishing he was staying bad
the
for a
origin one with by Judd Winnick.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
that was in
it's called.
was it Detective? No, yeah, it was it was in
No,
Batman.
just a miniseries, I think. Yeah.
Oh,
Can we talk about Titans for a
Are
second?
you reading Event Horizon or Event Leviathan? Because Jason Todd was kind of like
Fucking can't say that word. You think I'm going to read it?
Event. He was kind of the bad guy.
I'll say Event.
They don't. He's
Did
not.
you say Event
Wait,
L?
I haven't read the most recent one.
No.
Okay.
No. This, they've been going after Jason
Yeah.
Todd. They think he's Leviathan, right? So yeah, we're in golden age of Jason Todd right now. He's all over the place. He's on Young Justice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't watched Young Justice yet.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like not impressed by you saying that.
He's on Young Justice?
Yeah, Jason Todd, isn't he?
Is he?
Is he? Yeah.
Actually, I'm not 100% sure right now.
Yeah.
Are either of you watching?
No,
Young
I think it's Tim.
I watched Young
I think
Justice.
isn't it Tim?
It's Drake.
It's him.
I think it's Tim.
It was definitely at least Dick.
Well, Dick is the main one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think all of them are in there, actually, whether the headlines or not.
Was Damien's in there?
I swear Jason Todd's been
I
in there.
don't think about Damien, but
I know
Tim.
Barbara's in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
he made it. Oh, maybe it is Tim.
Yeah, I think it's Tim.
He just shows up. He's in it, but it's like photographs and stuff. Yeah, sorry, no, it is Tim. It is Tim. He is in the show, but not as like a character that has like lines. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, it is
Still
Tim.
a phenomenal show that's too complicated for Ryan Higgins.
No, Jason Todd.
Yeah, therefore you won't watch
And
it.
no pies.
I know
Got
that.
it.
No,
Yeah, no
Superboy
pies.
Prime.
And no.
You know, if there
Garden
was
shears
going
to the
be,
balls.
to be honest with you, if there's ever going to be a pie reference, it'll probably end up being in the Injustice. They're actually doing really good about referencing a bunch of stuff. Yeah. But can we talk about this? Because I think last week was my favorite episode of the entire 2-season.
Shimmer.
Have you watched
Yeah.
it?
I am caught up.
You're
Yeah.
caught up? Wow.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not-
I
haven't
feel
watched
like
it
they're
yet.
finally turning the corner.
I'm
This
caught
is
up
the-
because of this guy, because
Yeah.
of his enthusiasm.
Yeah.
It empowers me to.
Well, look, we've talked at length
Yeah.
about it on a separate podcast, which Ryan actually did publish like 6 months later. Look, I love these characters, and I wasn't the biggest fan of the show. I love the fact that they're making the show, but I wasn't the biggest fan of what they did. And I feel like they're turning the corner, and there's stuff I want to see now. The conversation between Bruce and Dick is exactly what I want to see. The little team up between Donna and Corey is exactly what I want to see.
Rose?
Yeah, and Rose showing up is exactly what I want to see. The training from Grayson with the kid team is exactly what like now is like beat for beat. I'm like, yes. If this was episode 1, I would have been floored. So I'm super stoked for this season.
Yeah, it's been great
Yeah.
so far. I love Deathstroke.
I mean, look, there's bits and pieces I really loved out of season 1. There's episodes that I thought they were great too, but as a whole, I
He stabs that guy in the dick. It's amazing.
If only he had also like splat at the same time as stab.
Well, he
That
told
would've been
him
the greatest.
Titans are back,
Yeah.
bitches.
Stab you in the dick, pie in the face, Titans are back, bitches.
Oh, God. You love that scene? Titans are back, bitches?
No.
Funniest scene.
See, I hated that.
Do you really?
Yeah, I don't understand. We have
Jason
Todd.
Todd.
We have a
No, it's
different.
Because Deathstroke sees him on the TV.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does see it. He does see it. Yeah.
okay.
It's because Jason Todd's an asshole. That's
No,
why.
I do like how Jason is on that show. It's just like the things that excite you so much, or the things that are like, yeah, I want to fucking cut my ears off.
My favorite part of the show, still, season 1, it was true. It's still true now. Is Donna Troy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
just
gold mine.
perfect.
That was a
Yeah.
gold mine there. Yeah.
she is perfect. All right, those are our questions. That's been a long
You got an
episode.
email episode.
Very,
You say
very,
that
very
after
long
every episode. That's
long.
been a long ass episode.
Never.
Have you
never
ever
ends.
said, "Wow, that one went by fast"?
Once or twice. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And then you look down, it was 3 hours later.
Early days of me and Brockman, they were like 45 minutes long. So.
Oh,
Oh, and those
now
45
we
minutes
go-
felt like 3
now we
hours,
go-
though.
now we-
Therefore, everything now feels like short.
If we're ever shorter than a romantic comedy, he thinks it's like it's that's a
romantic
good time.
comedy.
About an
I
hour
remember,
and
like,
a half.
we were sitting here at like an hour 20 a few weeks back, and I'm like, yeah. And then Scott walked in, and I'm like, no.
he walked in an hour and 20 late.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
more than
yeah.
fashionably late. Oh, was that the night John was on?
No.
Yeah, because he showed up after. The
Oh yeah,
interview.
that was
Oh, that's
actually
right. Yeah,
It was because that interview went like an hour, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was only
Over.
supposed to be a half hour.
Yeah, that's what I asked him for.
That was a nice interview, though. I really quite enjoyed that one. Yeah.
You need to say something about. I need you to say something about the trendy dead.
What
The trendy dead word.
is
you
that
were
like
using
the
earlier.
Grateful Dead, but the
People
opposites?
have asked to hear this from you.
What?
Who are you talking to?
Titans
Yeah.
are back,
This
bitches.
guy.
I have no idea what sorry.
Everybody looked confused.
I have
Yeah.
no clue what you're saying.
Something is on.
What?
Oh, I know what he's talking about.
Oh.
You have to say on
It's
fleck.
the word that the kids use.
The on fleck thing.
What?
They want.
Add
They
one
want.
more E.
They don't believe that you can say it.
Add one more E.
Yeah.
A fleek.
Who? What? I'm just gonna cut this off. I have no idea what you're talking about. You want me to say on fleek? There you go. Okay, I guess.
Oh,
that's
you
funny
just
for some
instantly
reason.
got 100 more listeners. You should leave this in.
We were discussing with Leanne's my nephew-in-law.
Dead slang.
What are the the cool new words that all the kids are saying that I should know.
I already don't remember them. But my sister is a teacher in Brooklyn, and I was like, she started giving me all these words. I'm like, the fuck? I never heard of this shit.
He's like 11, and I asked, do they still say on fleek? And he's like, what? And I'm like, okay, if it's already that old that he doesn't know.
Well, we've established that if
but
you
on
know
fleek,
it,
I've
it's
never
dead.
heard of. When did that happen?
Apparently so old that an 11-year-old doesn't know it.
I don't know, and I'm fucking nearing 40.
Well, yeah. If I've heard about it,
It's dead.
it's already over.
Yeah.
Right?
Wait,
that's
so
my
it
rule.
happened while we're alive?
Probably like
Yes.
5 years ago or
Yes.
something.
Really?
I think.
Yeah. Yeah. If I have heard a phrase, it's done.
On fleek.
On fleek.
It's
Yes.
it's like fashionable, on point.
Okay, so
Does that have anything to do with fleas?
I found an article about it from November 2014.
Oh, there you
Okay.
go. Okay. If there's is this like a BuzzFeed article where they're like top 17 ways to describe
Definitive
on fleek?
history of on fleek.
Okay, that is hella old. Then.
Definitely.
If there's an article from 2014, then this thing's like 10
On
years old or
BuzzFeed.
more. Yeah.
On BuzzFeed.
And the history was written in 2014.
In 2014.
So then,
yeah. That's how old it is.
That was a strong ending to the show.
I know. I got an extra ending. I've been hanging out with
do
somebody.
it.
I've been hanging out with some Aussies, and they've been teaching me some stuff to say. So I've been saving this one. Like, so it's a saying when it's like a no shit moment. So I'm gonna use this on my day job. I'm gonna wait for the perfect opportunity because I have a couple Aussies in my team and they don't know that I know this. But when there's a no shit moment, I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna say, "Well, we're not here to fuck some spiders." I thought that was freaking awesome.
Is that a no shit moment or an oh shit?
No, and like it's kind of like no shit, Sherlock,
Oh, okay,
right?
okay.
It's
So it's a
like
no
we're
shit
not
Sherlock.
here to fuck spiders. And I was like, I'm totally gonna save that one.
What?
Yeah, we're not
They're
here
gonna
to
look
fuck
at you and
spiders.
be like,
yeah.
"What are you talking about?"
How did he know?
We're from New
Yeah.
Zealand, Toby.
Then I was like, shit, I fucked this one up. Fucking Kiwis.
What? Anyway, thank you to Joe Duff, Sam Che, Andrew Nelson Mendez at the Recovery of an Anime Junkie podcast, Craig Anderson, who's at craigpanderson.com, and James Laws. Thank you guys all very, very much for your continued support on Patreon.
Especially after this episode.
If you're a backer, you can go to patreon.com/comicconspiracy. Kick us a few bucks there. Please go to comicconspiracypodcast.com, geekbox.net, and Apple Podcast to find all our previous episodes. If you go on YouTube, you can go to youtube.com/comicsconspiracy, where you can subscribe to our channel there. You get this podcast is on there. Every now and again we post some random other videos, but usually it's just, the audio version of this podcast. The Comic Conspiracy at geekbox.net. If you want your question read in 5 to 7 years,
We need some more emails. We gotta stockpile these people.
Send a few over, and we'll get to it one day. And, of course, comicsconspiracy.biz is where you can go to purchase all your physical comic books from us. Everything gets shipped out. Brock does a lot of the shipping here. Packed very
A lot?
well. Yeah.
So
Pretty
if
much
you
all.
see finger
Most of
marks,
it.
it's most likely Brock's.
Yeah.
So if you need to go into some government facility and need Brock's like fingerprint for some reason, you just have to order some comic books from Ryan, and there may be some tape, and there may be a finger mark from Brock, and therefore you get to go into that secret Suicide Squad Task Force X bunker.
Okay. Yeah.
I wish it was true.
We've had a lot of new subscribers.
Brock, in my mind, it is true.
To the store through Comic Hub. So if you want to subscribe to comic books here through the store, it's customer.comichub.com and choose Comics Conspiracy at your store. Forgot to talk about FOC. Remind me next week.
No, we can do a little segment real quick.
No,
Yeah.
remind me next week. ConspiratorBrock.com. That's Brock's blog, video pull list, unboxing videos. You can go over there and check out his stuff. Charlie, who should be back next week, he's on the Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast. That's Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension, not third. And Etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. That is my wife Leanne's Etsy store. You can also go to LeanneHill.com. She has a link there. It's probably much easier to say than her Etsy store. Go to LeanneHill.com, and you can pick up her art there through her Etsy store.
There's a Joker print that she did for the Joker movie.
Yeah. She tries to do a lot of these right when the movies are on their way out. So she's very excited for Joker. Tickets have to be on sale soon.
No, they're not yet.
They have to be.
No, they're not.
But they have to be.
They have
I know
to
they
be
have to be.
soon. Yeah.
I tweeted at Joker Movie going, why are they not on
Hey,
sale?
Joker. If you're on Twitter and you want to tweet at the Joker movie, you can also follow us and listen and watch us tweet at movies. I love tweeting at brands. Brands are funny. Ryan Higgins, Ryan. That is myself. Brock is Brock Sager. Toby is Toby XI. Well, Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. We'll mention Charlie. Kevin is That's Kevin Sharp. The store is Comics Con Store. CS. What is it?
Chris G. Bunch.
Chris G. Bunch. That's what it is. Okay, I knew it was
One
your
letter
last
was-
name.
yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure of the first. So Chris G. Bunch is Chris. If you want to say hello, and Geekbox, Comedy Button, Manga Machinations, and Infinite Binge, or a few other things our friends do. Go check those out.
You're not excited for FOC?
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week.
No, we got to talk about it now.
No, it's the end of the podcast. Chris, thank you once again for being on.
What is it? What is it?
The end of the podcast.
Yeah, okay.
So,
you're
like,
so excited about that.
It's like Jason Todd. He gets super excited about the end of the podcast.
I get really excited about Jason Todd. Only mildly excited about
Super
the end of the
excited about
podcast.
going home there.
And this
too,
is
huh?
not a podcast where we start to do the outro and there's still 35 minutes left in the podcast.
Oh, this is definitely the podcast.
We're
for
really
that.
ending now. Chris, thank you very much for coming back on.
Anytime.
And we'll catch everyone next week.